and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan, and tonight is our zero session for Victory Basic, the fantastic medieval war game written by Source of Victory. With me, we have Ginger, who will be playing our fighter, Moses, who will be our cleric, and Hunter, who will be our wizard. Many of you know them as Ginger with Souls, Horrible Tomato, and the guy that's with me on the weekly scroll.
And Hunter.
And Hunter.
Yeah, that other guy.
So, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh man, you know what I was gonna do? I forgot to add something in here. Let's see if I can throw it in real quick. We're gonna do a couple things to get this started. Tonight, as I said, is our zero session, so we're gonna be going through the rules a little bit, helping you guys chat, understand a little bit, because for those of you that watch 5th edition, this is not that. So you'll see, we'll go through that a little bit. We'll talk about OSR style games, which is what this is, and we will just kind of go from there. One of the things that I wanted to do first, though, was because I don't have my... Stop disappearing. This is what I wanted to do. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, throw a Sursa logo in that area. This will be the roll tables, but we're not rolling right now, so we don't need a roll table. So, you guys have read through Victory Basic. There's another thing that Sursa sent me. It is called the Principia Apocrypha, which is kind of a guide to running and playing OSR style games. For those that don't know, OSR is the old school revolution. It is, at least in theory of games, playing games like they used to be done, not like 5th edition. 5th edition, the style of play is very RP heavy. It's also very like hero-centric. You are heroes and warriors saving the day from something, eventually becoming demigods, where in OSRs you are more like thieves and tomb raiders. Your XP was often measured in the amount of treasure you gained from killing monsters and delving dungeons, not from talking to guards or things like that. So it is a very different style of play. So as I said, tonight we are going to be going over the basic rules for Victory Basic. We are going to go over kind of just the basics of OSRs. And I'm sure I'm going to fuck it all up, so hopefully Source is here, and he can correct me on those things. And yeah, the first thing I do want to do, though, like the third thing I want to do at this point, is we are actually going to do a little giveaway for this stream, for one of these sweet little numbers here.
Shit.
Ooh.
We're going to give away a Sursa Victory shirt.
Source of Victory?
Yeah. So if you would like to win one of these Sursa Victory shirts, you don't have to stay till the end, but you should. And just type !giveaway in the chat. If you guys want to join too, that's fine. Yeah, oh, never mind. Ginger's
like, I have no shame.
Yeah. Subs get 2.
No shame. You know me, right? I have no shame.
Yeah, subs get 2, tomato.
I have no job.
Oh yeah, and Skull got one from Tomb of Mercy, so. And Ginger with the resub. Thank you so much for that. So, to start off a little bit, like I said, we're going to go through the kind of basics of Victory Basic. If you look at this right here, or if you're cool like me, you actually have the box set back there. Oh, it's off camera. Very few got it. It is not commercially available, but I got one. It is very, very similar to the original OD&D books. That was the whole vibe of the box set, and this is to actually have like the white box set and everything like that. And this came with 3 books in it, along with dice, pencils, character sheets, a bunch of other stuff. The box set itself is amazing. But the first one is Mortals and Magic, which is what we're looking at now. It's volume 1 of 3. The other one is Underworld Adventures and Monsters and Treasure. And this is the basics of the rule set that we're going through tonight. Victory Basic is a classic dungeon delving game inspired by the original and basic editions of D&D and war games by Dave Arneson, Gary Gygax, and Tom Moldvay. It is adapted from Dungeon World, so it is the very first difference that you guys are going to notice pretty quickly is it is a 2d6 system, not a d20 system, and we'll get into that a little bit more as well. So, dungeoneering is the object of the game. You are, again, not a hero, not a demigod, you are a dungeoneer. You will be delving into dungeons, solving puzzles, killing monsters, taking treasure. That's the whole thing. That's what you get. Let me see if I can actually expand this out just a little bit so the rules are just a little bit easier to see. There we go.
Zoomy.
So, attribute scores. You have 6 attribute scores. So again, there are some similarities with D&D. A lot of similarities, but some very big differences as well. But you start with 6 attribute scores. Each expresses a bonus or a penalty to roll a 2d6. And you get your choice of class, which obviously we've already figured out. And then you must assign a +1 or a minus, and it's up to you how you assign it. +0, +0, -1, and -2 to all your remaining attributes. And each time you gain a level of experience, you increase an attribute score by 1 to a max of 3. And the strength and all the scores are exactly what you think they are: strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. There are going to be slightly different ways to apply those in this system, and we'll see that. And just early on, just so everyone knows, we're not really going to have character names because they're all going to die. Every single one of them.
No, we're naming all of them.
Yeah. So if you want to name them, they're going to start as Ginger, Moses, and Hunter. But we'll see. And this we'll start with a 3-session arc and then decide if we want to come back and continue to delve in through the dungeons. The way that the game is run basically is there are once you hit 11th level, you retire and you help future adventurers. So basically, dungeons are roughly 10 levels of the dungeon, and once you basically delve the entire dungeon, you have become a successful dungeoneer, adventurer, and you retire and help future adventurers. So each level will be about 1 level, and you'll have enough treasure or murdering to go up in a level. So you will start at level 1. For those that haven't played a 2d6 system, this is the basics of that entire system. It is the basics of games like Powered by the Apocalypse and things like that. It is 2d6, and there are failures, successes, and partial successes, or partial failures, if your glass is half empty. When you attempt something dangerous or when you attempt something dangerous or dramatic, the referee, will ask you to roll one of your attributes. You roll 2 6-sided dice, put the results together, add or subtract modifiers, and this is what you get. On a 10 or more, you succeed. Good job. On a 7 or 9, you succeed, but there is some, like, I get to make a move against you, or something potentially dangerous happens. It's kind of like a yes, but situation. So when you attack a monster, the monster can hit back, maybe not just you, maybe at the party, when you roll a 7 to a 9, or when you roll a 6 or less, when you completely fail. So one of the core things involved in 2d6 systems, and especially with Source of Victory, every roll you make incurs risk every single time. So if you want to try to hit that monster, there's a chance it's going to hit back. So you don't always necessarily want to hit the monster. You can try to figure out other ways to do things. But even when you're trying to solve puzzles and do other things, the only times I'm not going to make you roll for everything. If you can just do things, you just do things. You walk into a room and look around, good job, you look around. I'm not necessarily going to make you roll for every little thing. You're going to roll when you incur risk. So if what you do is inherently dangerous, there will be a roll because there are consequences to your actions. If there's no consequence, there's no point in rolling. You want to go look at a desk? Sure. there is a desk. Open the drawer, there is a thing. So if there's no risk, there's no point for a roll. So we'll see how that goes. Melee attacks always use strength. That's when you're up close to people. Missile attacks always use dex. That's when you're at range from people. You can consult lore, which is get useful clues with intelligence. You can search a room, which is wisdom. And that's not just like standard like rifling through. That is actually like looking for hidden things, looking for, you know, traps or things that are out of place and things like that. You can parlay with your charisma. So that's that. Saving throws work the same way. 10 or more, 7 to 9, 6 or less. If you roll 2d6s, no matter what, if you have minus 20, whatever, for some reason, you still succeed, it's automatic. And if you roll double ones, it's an automatic fail no matter what. We're not going to use the luck deck for this because 2d6 and d20 is very hard to kind of manipulate the numbers down from it. So there's not any bonus things for getting ability checks or saving throws with, you know, 12s or 2s. But for those have noticed already, we do have these little digits right here. Mine is red. That is a Bane. And next to you guys, you have a yellow, a gold, and a blue. That is... that will be your blesses and your shields. I've talked to Cirsa, and I think the best way to do that is a Bane will be a -1 to your roll, and a Bless will be a +1 to your roll. So I can Bane you for a -1. You can get Blesses for a +1. There are also shields, which is the blue thing. I need to talk to Cirsa a little bit. It's the way, since there are no actual, like... not really an AC. All of your armor is damage soak. It will be a damage reduction. So basically, you will be able to reduce damage by 3 or 5. We'll decide. Once you get hit, and it will be just on that hit. It's not going to be for like an entire turn. It's not necessarily going to be like the 5th edition shield. You'll just be able to soak damage for a big hit that you can do as a reaction, but you can only hold on to one of those at a time. So you can have one shield with you at all times. You can't stack a bunch of shields. You can stack blesses. It goes out to double digits. I made sure to make it look right this time, but you cannot stack shields. And you can use XP or bits to do that. Very similar to what we already have. I don't think we're going to have false life. So that is what you get. A couple of the things that we need to decide right now is the party caller and the party mapper.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. So you guys can decide whether you want to do it per session. And since there's 3 of you and we're running 3 sessions, you can each take turns as party caller or party mapper. There's not 3 roles, so one of you will get to not have a responsibility each session. But what the party caller does is, at the start of each session, one of you is nominated as a party caller. The party caller is responsible for relaying group decisions. So you guys can talk as much as you want. Again, not like 5th edition. Meta the fuck out of this. You can discuss your decisions. You can do the things you want to do. And then one of you will tell me, the party caller will tell me exactly what your decision is. And they are the one that gets to break ties, since there are 3 of you, if it comes down to it. So you have the responsibility each session of doing that. And you get final determination on the distribution of treasure for each session. And then there is a party mapper. So as we run through this game, your like light and things will be very important. If you're in a dark room, it is dark, and you will need a torch. And that means that you will not see the entire dungeon the entire time. You will see room by room by room. So what you have is a party mapper. Another person will be nominated to start each session, and they will be responsible for actually mapping out the dungeon as you explore it. Because in Victory Basic, there are 2 things you can do at the end of each session. One is try to get out of the dungeon, or one is to rest in the dangerous dungeon. And in order to get out safely, your party mapper will have to have a well enough mapped map to get you guys out of the dungeon. Party mappers also roll for wandering monster checks. So, again, each session, 2 of you will have... Yeah, you get something. And again, we can alternate those each session. So yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that right now?
I say we nominate Ryan as the party mapper.
Yeah, I think that's great. I bet he's
hey, Ryan,
really good.
Ryan, just do all the work. You know?
What's the way out?
No, I will.
Direct us.
I will absolutely map the dungeon for you and give you that when you try to escape.
I don't. Okay, that's a bad idea. I do not think that's going to have to end up well for
I'm
us.
down.
Oh,
I'm down for
you found a dragon.
Right.
Oops.
You're down to what?
Yeah.
Session by session. Just rotate.
Yeah.
So at the start of the first session, you guys can decide who you want to nominate it. Again, so there will be 2 assigned tasks each session and 1 person who can just try to not die. And then we'll see how that goes. And that gives everybody a chance to have each of those jobs, either mapper, caller, or nothing, during the course of those 3 sessions.
I think I have to find something like we could use to easily do the mapping and like share it, so we don't have to. I don't know if we can relay it. Like
I'm a hand draw it, baby. I'm gonna sit here with a pencil.
Like dropping squares and shit onto like a mapping.
Ryan, question for the ref. When you say that the map has to be good enough, is this like we send you our drawing and you're like, this looks like shit, go watch
No,
Bob Ross,
it will be
and
like,
as
as you leave with your torch casting a little bit of light, and you're running into hallways and rooms and things as you're trying to leave the dungeon, you will need to make your tokens go the correct way on the way out, and avoid wandering monsters as you leave.
Well, that's the Metroidvania, like that kind of map. But there's a square. Right. There's a doorway on the front and the right door.
So imagine like old school, non-isometric, like black boxes on a white grid. That's what your map's going to look like. We're going hardcore old school with this. I'm actually rolling up the entire dungeon. So I will most likely have you guys roll a couple times. Oh, 1 second. I will most likely have you guys roll a couple of times in the Discord. I will also probably open up a public Victory Basic Discord that you guys can roll public rolls in, and I will use those rolls to determine your rooms, your monsters, your traps, all of those things. So we got ourselves a Gilded Steph here. Don't forget to sign up for that giveaway for that sweet, sweet Sursa shirt.
Woo!
So Sursa said, 1 note about the use of the term referee. Besides being retro, it was deliberately chosen to communicate that the role of the GM is not a storyteller and will not fudge, but it is an impartial arbiter that does not care about your fate. Very, very true. I don't give a fuck if you die. It's my goal.
I mean, no matter what we call
he wants
Ryan,
us to die.
Ryan doesn't give a fuck if we live or not.
Impartial might be a little bit.
Ryan could be called Guardian
Rosie?
Angel, and he wouldn't give a fuck.
Listen, I am God, but at the end of the day, here's the difference. So between 5e and something like this, like the OSR style games. You roll everything. I don't roll shit. Like, it's all player-facing rolls. So when a monster hits you, it's because you did a bad roll and it gets to hit you. I'm not rolling, like, good enough rolls to hit your AC or something. When you fail to jump over a chasm and fall in a pit and die, I didn't roll for that. I don't roll anything against you. I'm not fudging rules or anything. You guys are rolling all of the things and suffering your own consequences.
Well,
you absolutely can.
Outside.
You absolutely can blame
hold
me anytime you want for anything, and then just, wandering monsters.
It's like we trigger, right? Like if we roll a 9, it might mean that we get a counterattack that hits all of us for we TPK because
when they start shouting at each other and
if you
rage quit.
Yep. And then once we go over the basics of the rules, where we'll touch on a bunch of stuff, like I said, I'll bring up the Principia Apocrypha, and we'll actually talk about OSR games a little bit, and just how they differ a little bit more from 5e. So, yeah, and don't forget to sign up for that giveaway. That's Mission Point giveaway. Oh, and Ian's here too. Hello, friends. So, dungeon levels. Each dungeon has multiple levels stacked on top of one another, connected by stairs, chutes, lifts, wells, or portals. What's really cool about the dungeon that I'm making is that you can turn it from flat to isometric. So when we're kind of done and you've seen the levels you've done, we'll actually be able to look at it from a couple different perspectives, and you'll see what it is. Hopefully I'll be able to do that well enough for you guys to see what's going on. Levels are stacked on top of each other, connected by stairs, chutes, lifts, wells, portals, and monsters and traps grow more dangerous the deeper into the dungeon you delve. That does not mean you will not meet a dangerous monster on a higher level. You know, they can climb stairs. Unlike, well, it's like horses, but they can't climb down. So they are much like horses.
Wait.
Some traps in the dungeon. What's up?
What? Horses can't climb downstairs?
So horses, like, one of the reasons that they have poles and fire stations is because the horses kept trying to climb the stairs and stuff.
Why are you saying that like I'm supposed to know that?
So wait, hold on. I can't get the horse out of my attic?
No, you can't. It's stuck.
It's stuck
Horse
up
meat.
there?
That's what
you get.
I just never thought about that. Shit. All right,
Well,
sorry.
I'll just
All
make
right.
some glue, you know?
Sucks to suck, yeah.
God.
Mini dungeons have secret levels, etc. Yes, traps. Sometimes actually falling into a trap could help you if the pit does not go onto spiky things, and it drops you to a lower level of the dungeon. But that means you're separated from your party members. Good luck, fuckers.
But then you find like a golden ring, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
find a little
And you go
creature.
invisible,
Turns
and
you
we're able
invisible.
to
Yeah,
different
life,
plane of
you live
existence.
your life happily ever after. Nothing bad ever happens to the
Yeah.
world ever again.
Never.
Until we totally rewrite it.
Yeah. So the underworld teems with monsters of all types, from goblins all the way up to liches. Again, the deeper you go, the harder things get. But
Nice.
that does not mean that there will not be difficult battles at higher levels. Traps, mechanical devices, and magical wards protect many treasure caches, secret vaults, and relics. Some traps reveal themselves at an unwelcome moment during a battle, while others lie in wait for you to incorrectly solve a puzzle. Once per day, a dwarf may ask the referee, "Is there a mechanical trap within my line of sight?" and get a truthful answer. Ooh. There are many hazards, there are puzzles that are going to happen, you can get diseases, you can get curses. The dungeon is, again, these style of games are not designed for you to be the hero. You are dungeoneering in a dangerous place, trying to gather enough treasure. Dungeon features, there are altars and shrines, where you can worship things, good or bad. There are bonfires, which is where you could find adventures that potentially rested in the past. And maybe you'll find something that they left behind when a monster chased them away from their resting place. Braziers, cages and gibbets, daises and pedestals. You're going to find a number of different types of things within these dungeons. Yeah, and trust me, I'm gonna fill it up.
I'll bet you are.
You always round up. An adventuring day ends when you and other dungeoneers leave the dungeon to rest, or you decide to stay in the dungeon and rest. Good luck. This is just time. Day is at the end of your day. A round in a battle is a round passes when each dungeoneer has taken a turn. Light. In general, you have torches and lanterns to last the entire adventure. However, if I present you with a challenge where tracking light is important, you can produce a torch by spending one use of your Dungeoneer's kit. A torch burns until you have stopped to rest 3 times. So for the most part, you don't necessarily need to worry about light until I make you need to worry about light.
Oh, good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about there.
You're
Yeah,
safe until you're not.
Yeah, you're safe until you're not. Equipment-wise, you have all the things you need for the most part, but you start with a Dungeoneer's kit. At any time, you may spend one use of the kit to produce a single non-magical item that might help you in the current situation, such as a rope. The first time you or another Dungeoneer makes a move using an item produced from your Dungeoneer's kit, you gain a +1 to the attribute roll, so don't forget that. You regain the use of your Dungeoneer's kit after you take a long rest outside the dungeon, or each time you stop to rest in the dungeon if you are human. Yes, doors are usually closed, and often are obstacles. Breaking down a door almost always triggers a wandering monster roll because it heard you. Secret doors are all over the place. Once per day, an elf may ask the referee, "Is there a secret door within my line of sight?" to get a truthful answer. Don't forget that. Treasure. Once per day, a halfling may ask the referee, "Is there treasure in this chamber?" and get a truthful answer. So your race is important, at least for your abilities. And then, if you want to do a character voice, You don't have to. I'll kill you.
Oh, I'm
Bruce
going
will,
to.
because
Oh, yeah.
he'll die if he doesn't.
Yeah. When you rest for the night outside the dungeon, you can spend gold to gain levels. So again, read that very carefully. You can make your way deeper into the dungeon and not leave. There are pluses and minuses to staying in the dungeon or leaving. But you have to be outside of the dungeon to use your gold to gain levels of experience. Potions, scrolls, weapons and armor, wands and staffs, rings, wondrous items, maps, a number of different things you can find within the dungeon. And gold, again, is directly related to your experience levels. So, you each need to have 100 gold to go up to level 2. I guess, right? Or do you need 100 even to get to level 1? Do you start as level 0? You enter the dungeon on the first level experience. If you die and re-enter the campaign with a new dungeoneer, you do so at first level, even if the other dungeoneers have advanced. Yeah, so you need 100 to get to level 2, 200 to get to level 3, 300 to get to level 4, etc., etc. I guess. But then at 2,000, I guess you need 2,000 gold to get to 11. Well, yeah, so you buy the next level. And once you pay that 2,000 gold to get to level 11, you're done. Resting, again, very important part. When you gain an experience level, you'll increase one of your attributes by 1, increase your hit points and damage, recruit new henchmen, and learn new spells. That's all in the character creation. The resting is a really important part. When there's no immediate danger, you and other dungeoneers may stop to rest for a minute. So you can't rest when there's a monster nearby. You regain hit points equal to the maximum roll of your class's damage die. If you're a cleric or wizard, you regain the use of 1 spell. Each time you stop to rest in the dungeon, the party mapper must make a wandering monster roll on a 1d6. Should hostile wandering monsters be encountered, your rest is interrupted and you gain no benefit. When resting for an entire night outside the dungeon, you recover all lost hit points, expended spells, and once per day abilities. However, the referee will roll on the dungeon events to determine how the dungeon has changed. So there are pluses and minuses to being inside the dungeon and resting, and being outside the dungeon and resting. Basically, if you stay inside the dungeon, you don't get as much benefits of resting, and there's always a risk that you don't get any benefits at all if your party mapper fails on their wandering monster check and you have to battle through the night. But if you roll outside, if you leave outside, you can gain levels, you can heal everything, you can do all that stuff, but the dungeon is not static. The dungeon will change. Monsters can take the place of dead monsters. Doors can close. Things can happen to the dungeon when you leave it. Yeah, 2,000 gold.
Is it just like the state of doors and monsters, or could the actual?
I guess we'll find out.
We didn't know. Okay. I mean,
so the dungeon itself won't really change. Your party mapper should, for the most part, be able to make their way, relatively quickly back to where they wanted to go. But again, shit happened.
Yeah,
what is is there
we're
a
on level?
Go ahead.
So we're on level 3. We want to get back up to the surface. We know the path to get back. We don't have to re-explore, but doors or traps may reset. Monsters may show up.
Once you leave and come back in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, you might not even just find monsters. You might find cultists down there. It's not like you're only going to battle goblins and dragons. There are humans. Yeah. There are other adventuring parties that are trying to get the gold before you do. There are plenty of other things that are intelligent enough to reset a trap, or to worship at an altar to resummon something or things like that. So it will not just be creatures that you battle in the dungeon. Again, other adventuring parties could be looking for the same gold you are.
Yeah. We almost should have...
fuck those parties.
We're going to kill fucking party mapping. Well, we should have, shorthand. This room had these traps or something, so we actually know what might get reset to look for.
The party mapper can map as much as they feel like mapping. If you were actually in a dungeon and you had a pen and some parchment with you and you're trying to be able to get out, how much information would you write down?
Yeah. Nothing. I'd turn around because everybody dies in dungeons. This is awful. It's an awful way to live.
But you can't level up in life.
Can I see the light of the surface?
Okay, Jeff Bezos. All right. Question: is there a static roll on the wandering monster die that is does that number what's the like? I hate to use this term because I know we're not doing D20 or 5e, but like, what's the DC for a wandering monster? Is it always 1 on the 1d6, or will that number?
Yeah, I believe it's a
increase?
1 on a 1d6. Like if you roll a 1, you have a 1 in 6 chance every time you rest within the dungeon of not getting any benefits from your rest whatsoever. But
So
again,
if it's
you can find
static.
rings, you can find healing potions, you can find a lot of things to lessen the burden of staying within the dungeon if you want to continue to push farther. So,
Yeah, I feel like it's almost gonna be one of those like we take it easy for the first couple levels, get some shit together, and then like cool. We've set up. Now we can actually delve.
Yeah.
What's this one? Meta.
Ryan's not going to let us take it easy at any point in
Well,
time.
I mean, easy's a relative term, but
again, I am just the referee. I'm the arbiter. You are rolling for everything bad that happens to you.
And we will roll like shit. So
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I will be prepared for
I
all of
expect
the.
to fuck a lot of shit up.
One word could have changed that entire.
yeah, I
thing.
was thinking the
Yeah.
same. Anecdotes.
Where were we? Oh, okay. Avoiding monsters. So, the defeated monsters in Victor Basics does not grant you levels or experience. Only the accumulation of treasure reaches you greater levels of experience. If you run into a dragon and you are first level, might be a good idea not to fight the dragon. Again, 5th edition does not really encourage running from obstacles. They balance the obstacles so that you should be able to defeat them. That is not this. I will be rolling for monsters. It's not like you're only gonna have goblins on level 1 and dragons on level 10. We'll see. There might be a range, but again, there are out-of-depth monsters. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit, where you could potentially run into something well above your level, and the best idea is to shut the door and run away. Do not forget that. Monsters in Victor Basic are particularly dangerous and thus you are encouraged to carefully assess whether engaging a monster in battle is worth the risk. Consider whether a monster could be evaded, sprinted past, or distracted with food or items in order to claim any treasure it is guarding. You could also attempt to drive off the monster. You can get to that. Turn order. The battle begins. Referee will decide which dungeoneer acts first based on the fictional circumstances. Basically, if you're closer or you speak up first, we're not going to roll for initiative. You can pretty much just, like, whichever order you start in, that's the order will continue to rotate in throughout the course of the adventure. Actions each turn. You may move somewhere nearby and attack or cast a spell on your turn. The referee may also allow you to do something quick should the fictional circumstances permit, such as opening a door or pulling a lever. Positioning. There are only 3 positions in this. There will be a rough kind of a grid that we're going to be dungeoneering on, just to show rooms and tunnels and stuff like that. But you are either up close, nearby, or far away. If you are up close, you are in melee with someone. If you're nearby, you are a spear's throw away from that person. Basically, like a big room apart. And if you are far away, you are far away. You are at the other end of a huge cavern. You know, so basically, up close is a sword strike, nearby is a spear throw, and far away is a bow shot. Is basically where you guys are, and that is the entire positioning that you guys can be that you could be at. Attacking monsters. When you attack a monster on a 10 or more, you deal damage to the monster plus any other effects. On a 7 and 9 is above, the referee gets to make a move with the monster, and on a 6 or less, you miss and the referee gets to make a move with the monster.
You get to make a move on the monster?
Oh yeah, all day. That's what the
Okay.
charisma's for, isn't it?
Great. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you said. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure
Absolutely.
I know what kind of game we're playing here.
Hey, listen, look at who you're playing with.
If
Look
that's
at
an
this.
option.
Look at these.
I know there's no.
Look
I
at
know
these
there's no bard
chucklefucks.
class.
Yeah.
But
Trouble. So much trouble.
Yeah, damage dealt reduces Dungeoneers and monsters to 0. When a Dungeoneer hit 0, they make a last breath check. On a 10 or more, they get half their maximum hit points back and may retreat should the fictional circumstances allow. On a 7 and 9, they get you get half your hit points back, but one of your attributes determined randomly, so I'll roll a 1d6, is permanently reduced by 1. And that's a lasting wound that you carry with you because you were on your last breath before death. And on a 6 or less, you die. When a Dungeoneer
There's
dies...
gonna be a lot of those coming up, you know?
Yeah.
Gonna be several of those.
When a Dungeoneer dies, their treasure passes on to the other party members, unless official circumstances suggest otherwise, like falling into an endless pit. And you may re-enter the game with a new first-level Dungeoneer. First-level Dungeoneer. If you're on the 10th level and you die, find some treasure, motherfuckers.
Stay in the back.
Yeah.
Beg party members for money. Hey, can you spot me like 300 gold so I can get a couple levels?
Yep. And then you leave the dungeon, you buy your levels up, and you keep going. So, talking about the classes that we are going to be, we're not going to dig too deep into the classes, unless you want to. But we'll basically go through the cleric class to start, and then the other ones are applicable, and we'll just hit those points. So you have hit points, armor, your damage, and your attributes, which are what you're going to use for the most part. It's like your saving throws and things like that. So you start with 6+ con per level. So that is similar to 5th edition. But the scores aren't, your points aren't going to get quite as high, because your con can only go to, -3 to +3. Your armor is 2 plus your dex score, that's it. And again, your armor is damage soak, so if you have a +2, that means you have a 4-point armor soak. So when you get hit, if it does 5 damage, you take 1. Your damage is 1d6 plus 1/2 of your level. So at first level, you are 1d6 plus 1. At 10th level, you are 1d6 plus 5. People often ask, it's 6 plus con times level. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Cersei just said, and since people often ask, it's 6 plus
So
con
levels.
times your level.
Oh, the multiplier of hit point. Okay.
Oh, no, not 6. Not 6 plus con times
Yeah.
level. It's
Order
6
of
plus con
operations
times your level.
is
So if your con is 2, it's 8, and if you're on level 3,
16, 24.
it's 24. That makes sense. PIMDAS. Yeah. Don't forget to sign up for that giveaway. Yeah, I would definitely have asked that, Cersei. I would have messed that up. Yeah.
Ryan's
so
trying to kill us, y'all. He's like, nah, you're gonna get like 9 HP.
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah.
total.
That's all you
Next level,
get.
Yeah,
That's all you
40
get.
hit points. That's it.
Hey, the more HP, the harder the monsters get. So,
That's for sure.
clerics can choose law or chaos, and you get various things for that. Basically, you can heal or harm with your choice. Moses, to start,
Nah.
are you going to go law or chaos? Is this a dumb question?
No, I'll be lawful. I feel like we're gonna need healing. Mostly selfishly, I'm gonna go law. I want to heal myself. I don't care about you fucks. If you die, I
fair.
get your treasure. So
Yeah, it's super fun.
Mhm.
I'm
Don't
gonna jump
forget
on
to
the
look
kite when I
at.
die.
I have another question.
Yeah.
What is to encourage us from not backstabbing each other at the end of the dungeon?
I guess nothing.
Right.
The dungeon leader controls the loot distribution. So if you
If you kill
fuck
the
us
dungeon
over,
leader,
we will
no.
remember.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I
didn't
mean,
know if there were any
that'd be it for our
restrictions on like
rotation.
what happens there. If it's just all right, cool.
Yeah, I would say that would just be kind of a douchey thing to do. You
Yeah,
guys
obviously.
are an adventuring party,
Obviously.
but if you want to go evil and just start backstabbing people, I
Not
think there will be a
really.
rumor around the dungeon of Moses the cleric being a backstabber, and I guess you'll be adventuring alone.
They got to be confusing me with somebody else. That can't possibly
Yeah.
be me. I'm a law cleric.
There you go. Humans, clerics can only be human. And you get things for that. You choose a first level wizard spell, you may cast it once per day. Don't forget to read the previous parts on what humans can do once per day. You wield a mace, a cudgel, or a flail. You wear scale mail and carry a shield. You cannot wield missile weapons, magical weapons, or magical armor. Don't forget what you can't do. You can't. You get what you get, and it distinctly tells you what you cannot wear. Saving throws, you get a +2 bonus on saving throws. Talked about your spell casting. 3 first level cleric spells. Each time you gain a level, you learn a new cleric spell at that level of your choice. So there are spell levels out to like 9 or 10, out to 10, I guess. So it's not like the spells aren't flat. At second level, you can learn second level spell. At third level, you can learn third level spell. But again, everything incurs risk. When you cast a spell, you roll wisdom. On a 10 or more, you cast a spell. On a 7 or 9, you cast a spell, but it is expended. The referee makes a move. On a 6 or less, you fail to cast a spell and it is expended. The referee makes a move. So you get, I guess, 3 spells. And then if you fail to cast it, it is used up. You can do Lay on Hands. You can do a Divine Petition. At first level, you choose your deity's domain. Chaos, Death, Nature, Law, Life, Magic, Secrets, or War. What are you thinking there? What are you thinking for your Divine Petition?
Life. Let's just go basic, vanilla, cleric. Want to heal the world. One nation, one love.
Yep.
Everybody have a hug. Yeah.
He'll survive
Nice.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
totally.
You can petition your god. On a 10 or more, the referee truthfully answers one question about the dungeon related to your deity's domain. And the first dungeon to act on the revealed knowledge gains a +1 bonus to their attribute roll or saving throw. On a 7 or 9, you receive guidance, but I get to make a move. And on a 6 or less, your petition is ignored. Your god does not care about you. At 6th level, you can establish a temple. You can spend 1,000 gold, establish a temple near the entrance, and once established, you may spend gold at the temple to receive the services below. You do not earn gold spent at your temple. It is used to maintain the temple grounds. So, the amount of gold spent gives you that once you hit 6th level, so you get benefits from building this temple, and each of the dungeoneers can leave the temple and seek refuge at the temple and gain services for gold. Do you want to go through all the classes? Do you want to talk through each of these, or it's entirely up to you?
I feel like we can
I'm
do
good
that.
with that. Yeah.
Okay, just to make sure. So, fighter, 10 plus con, 3 plus dex, damage is 1d10. So you are a beefier beef boy. And then
boy.
you get to choose law, neutrality, or chaos. So what are you thinking right off the bat? Law, neutrality, or chaos?
I think in neutrality. I was looking through it before.
Okay.
That's
When
selfish.
you power attack on a 10 plus, increase by 2 sizes the damage die you roll when next you hit with a melee or missile attack this battle. Nice. To a maximum of a d20. So if you're rolling with a d10, you move the damage die up twice. So d12 or d20. And you get the entire plethora of options, human or demi-human.
I was saying earlier, like there's something about dwarves. Maybe it's just being tall. It's always fun. We'll start off probably with a dwarf.
Okay,
Also,
so
like
once per
that.
battle, you may automatically hit a large-sized monster or bigger with a melee attack as if you had rolled a 10 plus. You may wait to see this power. You may wait to use this power after you roll a 9 or less in the attack roll. So basically, once per combat, you can roll, realize that you rolled shitty, and decide on a large-sized or bigger creature to get a 10.
My
Yeah.
oh shit button.
Yeah, basically. You may wield any weapons you choose. You may wear any armor. You are the only class that may use magical weapons or armor. When you slay a monster with a weapon attack, you may carry over any extra damage beyond that required to slay it to another monster within range. So if you are up close, if another monster is up close to you and you hit with 10 damage and one has 5, you can cleave the next one for an additional 5 damage. Your saving throws, you gain a +2 on saving throws versus physical monster attacks, including breath weapons and gaze attacks.
Is on that cleave, just curious, is it automatic? Like I hit the first, to use your example, 5 hit points left, I do 10 damage. Does it automatically apply on the next one, or is there any kind of...
you don't need to roll to hit the next
Don't
one.
need
That's
to
just
roll,
one
okay.
thing that you get. Yeah. You
Wow,
get
nice.
to carry that extra damage through.
Just that whole risk of like, oh, by the way, that cleave opened up an opportunity to get countered because you don't roll
Right.
high enough.
You can get henchmen. So henchmen are interesting. This is a fun thing. They're not actually with you as like tokens or NPCs or anything like that. It's more like their effects, you can use the ability that your henchmen have. So, like, if you were RPing it, sure, you got a bunch of henchmen running around with you. They don't really do anything. You just call their effects in. So your exploits in the underworld attract admirers and followers. Those henchmen do not accompany you in turn-by-turn dungeoneering, but are instead represented in the abstract by powers you may use once per day. You start with one henchman group of your choice. Each time you gain a level, you recruit another group of your choice. You may only use one henchman power per day, regardless of how many total henchman groups follow you. So you literally got a bunch of smucks just wandering around in the dungeon behind you because they know you're badass dungeoneers. And you as a fighter can do that. So power attack, again, don't forget your ability said you have to do it on a power attack. Once per battle, you may unleash a mighty attack. You roll strength. On a 10 or more, deal your damage and choose a number of effects equal to 1/3 your level. And those are the effects that you can have right there. Deal extra damage, reduce monster's armor, knock the monster into the path of a trap or a hazard, grapple the monster, etc., etc. But on a 7 to 9, the referee makes a move, and if you fail, the referee makes a move.
So I thought it's 1/3 and it rounds up. So essentially, levels 1, 2, and 3, you get one choice.
Basically.
But level 4, you get 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, all math rounds up. So, and then at 6th level, much like the temple, you establish a stronghold where you can spend gold to gain benefits. And at level 11, you ascend into the cleric. Just becomes like the patron of the temple. The fighter becomes the like baron of a stronghold. And you're just like hanging out by the dungeon, helping future adventurers because you retired. Wizard, super squishy boy. 4
Squishy
plus
boy.
con. Yeah, 4 plus con per level. Yeah, so if you start with 1 con, you start with like 5 HP. Yeah. Because it's 5 times. It's 1 times 1. Armor is 0 plus your dex. And your damage is 1d4 plus 1/4 of your level. With in con. So what do you think, in neutrality or chaos to start?
Oh, I'm gonna do chaos. I want the.
I love that wizards can't be. I love that wizards can't be good either. You're either neutral or chaotic. There is no lawful for you.
You gotta use that dark magic, you know.
Sure.
Huh?
I'm curious, if the dex is -1, does that mean you have a -1 armor, or is it capped at 0?
Ooh, we'll have to ask Circe, but I can only imagine the answer will be if you have a -1 dex, you have a -1 armor.
I'm pretty sure you'd have a -1. That sounds right,
Yeah.
you know?
Sounds right. Unless he tells me otherwise, that would suck for you.
You take extra damage?
Minimum 0. We were wrong. He's nicer than me right now. Minimum 0.
Yeah,
-1 would be
you take 1
hilarious.
extra damage.
Yeah. It just means you're super slow, and it just like, yeah, it totally hits you. Yeah. So, human or elf, that's all you get. What are your thoughts?
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna be a little elfy boy, you know?
Elfy boy. Elfy boy. Once per battle, you may re-roll a die that is rolled as part of a spell's effect, including a roll made by another wizard, a monster, or a trap. So, any spell effect, you can re-roll a die. Ooh, that's interesting. So I assume that means that if you roll 2d6 to cast a spell, and you get like a 4 on one and a 1 on the other, you can take that d6 and re-roll one of them to see if you hit, or vice versa. If a spell would hit you, you could take their high roll and re-roll that 6 to see if you could affect that. That's cool. I love that mechanic.
I was wondering if it says spell effect. Does that mean like the damage of a spell, or is it like the actual roll to hit of a spell?
It's probably the roll to hit, I can imagine. Because I don't think you don't generally roll like, well, it says a die as part of the spell's effect, including a roll made by a wizard, monster, or trap. So yeah, maybe it could be to reduce damage, because it is just 1 die. He can also do things like re-roll a damage die or a trap. Yeah, or if there's a roll table to summon a monster, he could re-roll a d6. There you go. Weapons and armor, you wield a staff or a dagger. You may not wield missile weapons. You may wear cloth, leather armor, or padded robes. Saving throws.
What about a
+2.
dagger taped to a staff?
I mean, you can wield a dagger or a staff. So basically a spear. +2 versus saving throws, including those cast from wands or staffs. Spell casting. You know 4 first-level wizard spells. Each time you gain a level, you learn a wizard spell of that level of your choice. You may also learn wizard spells from scrolls found in the dungeon. Very similar to the other ones. You use int instead of wisdom to cast. And on a 7 or 9, it is you cast a spell, but it's expended. On 6 or less, you fail. You do have spell components. You may reroll 1 die of a spellcasting roll a number of times per day equal to your intelligence. A die can be rerolled any number of times provided you have enough uses. So similar to the elf ability, you can reroll a die of a spellcasting roll. Just for your spellcasting. This is different though. Yeah. Your ritual. Once per day, outside of battle, you may draw upon a place of arcane power to cast a ritual. Name a non-directly damaging effect you'd like to create in the dungeon that alters the environment for 1 day and roll con. On a 10 or more, you're able to create the effect, but the referee will present you with one of the following complications. Ritual takes time and might be disrupted by a wandering monster. To cast a ritual, you must first do something that I determined. To complete the ritual, you will need help from something that I determined. The best you can do is a lesser version, unreliable and limited, and you and other dungeoneers will risk danger from something. 7 or 9 as above, but I get to pick 2, and 6 or less, it backfires. Good luck. At 6th level, you establish a tower, very similar to the other ones. You can have services from there, and you ascend at 11th level. You immediately establish a tower for free, and become the arch magician who aids future dungeoneers. So there are a list of fighter henchmen. We'll just go over like 1 or 2 at the top so you can see. Again, you don't physically have them with you unless you feel like yelling at them or something. But what you have is their abstract effects that assist you. Archers. Your archer henchmen just so happen to arrive when you need to retreat, providing you and other dungeoneers cover with a hail of arrows. You flee without the need for an escape or distraction roll.
Seems like the little bastard could be helping during the fight, but whatever.
Right?
They'd get there just at the right time.
Sure.
Your men-at-arms just so happen to be patrolling the dungeon when wandering or surprise monster appears, driving them away. They do not disrupt any rest or rituals in progress. So if you have men-at-arms, you could have your rests in the dungeon and stop the wandering monsters from attacking. If you have archers, you can flee without issue. So yeah.
Like the men-at-arms, would that be able to be triggered? Like, say we're resting and we roll a 1, that would trigger the wandering monster. Can I then initiate?
Yeah.
The henchman.
That's the whole
so it's
point.
not like I have to pre-call it. It's not like I'm
No. It is an ability that you get to use in the abstract. Basically, they are just again in game mechanically. They're just an extra benefit, an extra ability you get to use. And out of game, they think you're cool and follow you around, and just so happen to show up right when you need them. Yeah.
Works for me.
We're not going to go through the spells. Please dig through the spells. Don't forget you start with spells, and you can learn new spells from each level as you go up. So I guess my question with the spells and stuff is, four first level spells. Each time you gain a level, you learn a wizard spell. So I assume that means if you roll a 6 or less, or even a 7 and 9, the spell is expended. So that means you only have 3. Like if you have, let's say, Bless at level 1. And you fail to cast Bless, you now don't have Bless. It's expended and it's gone. And you have to wait till you get a spell slot back. So does that mean, Circe, at higher levels, say you learn a 2nd level spell at level 2, do you now have 5 times that you can cast a spell if you fail each time? That's my assumption when I read through the rules in this, is basically the number of spells you have is the number of spell slots you have, and you keep them if you get a 10 or more, but you expend the spell and the slot. It's expended into your short rest, recovering 1, or rest outside the dungeon, recovering all, but your spell books are constant, So you get as many, you can cast the spells that you know, but if you fail to get a 10 plus, that spell is gone, and you can't use it again.
Big.
Yeah.
Wait,
So you can roll all the way up to 10th level spells like Divine Word and Mass Heal. Wizards can go all the way up to 10th level spells, where you can have Time Stop and Wish. So make sure you know that. There is a list of spells by level, so you know just a quick reference chart for clerics and wizards there. And that is Mortals and Magic.
Woo!
That's it.
Those are the base mechanics of the game. It's not super hard. 2d6, if you roll less than a 10, bad shit happens to you. Make sure you know your spells, make sure you know your abilities, make sure you dig through, because don't forget, in the beginning part, there are sections when they talk about dungeoneering where humans, dwarves, elves get a little bit bonus ability. Make sure you look at that and fill out your character sheet appropriately. You should all have a character sheet. You can fill it out digitally, just throw it in something and type on it if you want. I'm not really gonna go over them. I'll look at if you have questions, let me know. I'll make sure that your HP is roughly, make sure that the stats across the top are correct. And that's about it. Because the numbers are what the numbers are. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, you're
Right.
not, outside of your damage, you're not rolling for things. You just get certain things. It's not 1d4 plus con per level, it's 4 plus con per level. So it's pretty set mathematically. It's a formula, not a roll off. So, questions, concerns, issues?
No, I'm stoked. I'm excited to just be punished and die. You know.
Oh yeah, we're gonna die.
Yeah, we're there.
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Alright.
We'll see what happens.
The attribute. Here's a quick, maybe dumb question. Like the modifiers, the +1, 0, 0, -1. Is that what each of those 6 are, or is it roll separate and then modify that?
It's a modifier. So when you roll, you get your, say you have a +1 to Cha. When you roll your 2d6, you can add a +1.
And are we doing like you just roll for that, or do you re-roll 6 times and assign which of the rolls we want for each of those stats?
Oh no, you're just assigning modifiers.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you start, you have. Let's find that part here.
Yeah,
You know, what page that is. I think it's pretty early.
It's one of the early pages.
4.
It's like
Dumb question.
page 2 or 3. Is it page 4?
That's
Okay.
4.
So when you start, determine the attributes to which you must assign a +1. It is up to you to assign a 0, 0, -1, and a -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 attribute scores. Each expresses a bonus or penalty to a roll. Your choice of class determines the attributes to which you must assign a +1. So on your class, you know how I think yours is probably like strength and con or something like that. You get a +1 to strength, a +1 to con, and then you have to assign a 0, 0, -1, and -2 to your 4 others.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. So you get 2 +1s, 2 zeros, a -1, and a -2.
-1 and a -2.
Yeah.
Got
So you
it. Okay.
start,
That meant
I guess, slightly better off, or slightly worse than if you average out the
Slightly-
numbers.
you're -1 to start.
Yeah. Well, so you have a total of +2 and a total of -3 across your attributes.
I'm a squishy boy. You know that.
You are a very squishy boy.
My dex is 0, and so like
You might want to put one of those plus. Oh yeah, you don't even get a +1 to Dex.
No, I can put +1 into intelligence and con, and that's.
So
where,
you have.
that's where
So
we
you're
are.
basically starting with 5 hit points and an armor soak of 0. So if you take 5 damage, you're dead.
Yeah.
So
You're dead.
that whole far away thing, that
Yes.
Well, I'm really
Yeah.
gonna get very familiar with what it feels like to be far away.
Oh yeah.
I will be, what is it, up close or nearby, whatever those are, especially with the cleave.
When I was picking spells, I was looking at like one of them was burning hands, but you have to be within close range. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, the other thing too about wizards is you can't even. Can you even wear? You can't wear magic armor. Can you wear armor at all?
I can wear robes.
Padded.
And
It's
padded
like
robes.
The big. That was like leather and padded. I think were like the highest.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay in the back and cast magic missile, guys. So don't even worry about it.
I mean, that's what a first level wizard does in any TTRPG.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
You may
support
wear
that.
cloth, leather armor, or padded robes. So you could wear leather armor. You can wear leather armor.
I'm a
we
leather
start
daddy,
with that?
you know.
Seems like
Oh,
we
yeah.
do.
Yeah, you could. You can do that.
Hmm.
I wonder, Sursa, where is there a list anywhere of what the armor actually gives you as a? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Your armor score is determined by your dex and stuff. So I guess
Yeah, that's just fluff.
It's just
you know?
like flavor.
kind of. But if you say you find +1 like
Sure.
leather armor in the dungeon,
Ah,
you can wear.
cool.
Well, I guess can you
say-
wear magical armor? No, you can't even wear.
Only
magical
I can wear
armor.
magical.
Only,
can't I-
only,
I'm the magic
only
man.
fighters. Your body's made of
Flavor.
magic. You don't get magic.
It's all
apparently.
flavor,
Yeah.
son. You literally never get any armor ever.
Only
I'm
I
feeling-
can wear the armor.
I'm feeling
Only
so
if you
far
buy
in the
into
back.
that dex bonus.
True. Did you get to choose?
Yeah, I was gonna say
points,
there
right?
are such thing as magic rings and talismans, though. So you could find a +1, +2 ring of protection.
I'm gonna get mage armor at level 2.
I hope you can get
good
to
luck.
level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This can be a
If I
very-
live
Big
that
assumption. We
long-
have to get there first.
So what kind of idiots are we that we decided to go into adventuring with so little armor, life,
You're
spells?
normal people.
Well,
Again, you're not demigods in this world. You are dungeoneers seeking treasure. You are a bunch of greedy fucks. You want to better your life with money.
Okay, my character wears all black leather with zippers all over it.
no. It's just a harness,
Yeah.
really, because you don't get any armor. The monsters can toss you around.
I felt a little swing on this.
There's the voice.
layer.
We made it 1 hour before voices came out.
There we go.
That wasn't anything yet. Good boy.
Where to come?
So, questions about the game. There are other things that we can talk about. Again, I'll talk to you guys a little bit, kind of in the private channel, about some other things as I build the maps. I'll probably build those on stream throughout next week. I doubt I'll build too far down. I might build the first 2 or 3 levels of the dungeon, but I can't imagine that you guys are going to get super far. If you got through an entire level per session, I would be astounded. But we'll see how that goes. And if you guys like this and want to do this again, we could always... Our plan at the Adventure Archive on Thursdays is to have... kind of roughly have like Jason run a game and then me run a game. And the other person is prepping while the other person is... Has this just been looping the same song the entire time? I feel like I've heard this song like 18,000 times.
Okay.
It has, yeah. It says
Womp
skeleton.
Whoops.
But it's fine, because we got through the rules.
Woo! Woo! We did it! Rules.
There are cooler songs here too. You guys can get a little preview of the music you're gonna hear throughout. There it is. There's some exploration music. Some boss battle music.
Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 ba. Sorry. All battle music is Final Fantasy X, guys. All of
Yeah.
it, forever.
When we level up, do we get the Final Fantasy sound effect? Mm-hmm.
Da,
That's
da,
not the
da,
thing
da, 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 da. We're gonna be a real good group of getting stuff done. You know.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna be excellent. Totally.
We're gonna be
together,
lucky if we
not
get
at
through
all.
one room.
I agree. I completely agree.
I feel like it's gonna be like room 2. Like, hey, there's something over there. Let's go pick it up, and then we just
Nope.
get.
We're getting out with our
TK.
2 gold.
Yep. Yeah, every time you get
We
gold,
walk back
just
in,
run
we
out
see
to
our
the
bodies.
Yeah,
entrance.
just run out. Just
Yeah.
fucking leave.
Yeah, that's gonna be the great part is when you see the bodies of your
saw
fallen
a shadow.
selves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look. it's me.
I'm assuming we can loot our former selves, provided
Yeah,
there's
fuck
any loot
yeah.
left.
Fuck
All right,
yeah,
great.
if there's any loot left. So again, when you die, the party leader can distribute what's on your body as long as your body's still there, amongst themselves, and continue on. So like as you die, but don't forget also that you will continue to start back at level 1 every time you die.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I
So-
like to hear.
Oh, but anyway, I did get distracted. Basically, Jason and I will alternate adventures. We have, so basically as I'm running this, he'll be prepping another adventure. And then as he's running that adventure, I'll be prepping something else. And if we finish this, and you guys can, and want to run this as the in-between adventure again, you are more than welcome to let me know, and we will do that until you guys retire at level 11. Or, you know, we'll run something else on Thursdays.
That's a lot of. I got a lot of runs for us to get through to get to 11.
Oh, there.
We have to really,
Yeah.
really survive.
Well, it depends on how much
Yeah.
gold there is.
Yeah, you know.
We find
Listen.
a dragon's horde we can steal off.
Yeah.
Of. Like,
The
Oh,
question is.
So again, I'm gonna try to go really old school and roll as much as physically possible for that. So every time I enter, there's like something for a room, I will roll on it. And there's a lot of charts that Sursa made for this. So the style of room, what's in the room, how you leave the room, all of that stuff, I will just be rolling, and making the map as I go.
Be rolling.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. It was in my head.
Yeah.
Go camera.
So, yeah.
Oh, a moose.
Oh, I'm gone.
Moose, how much do you have to drink?
So much you can't even. I got my camera drunk. Actually,
How much did I
got
have
my
to
camera
drink? I
guy.
mean, that's really the question.
Coming back eventually.
Do you want to do
Come
the
on.
thing? There you go.
There he
there's
is.
where he was.
Listen, he's a model. All right.
He does. Yeah, exactly. Do you think that we could go a whole like
Nope.
day without
Not
going
even
out?
an hour. Not even an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah, just about an hour. It's been about an hour.
Oh, okay.
About.
Sick.
Okay.
So let's go over this a little bit. Let me just to touch on some of the principles of OSR. I should really throw this link up in here as well, so that people in the crowd, all of those people hanging out,
The thousands
can-
of people
The
watching.
throng that has gathered around us.
Yeah. It's a great read regardless if you run games at all, whether the OSR style or not. Oh, here it is. And again, I highly recommend. Here we go. A lot of further reading on the page too. Sersa sent me to this, and it is wonderful. So this is the Principia Apocrypha, elementary axioms and aphorisms on running and playing tabletop RPGs in the old school style from Ben Milton and Stephen Lumpkin, assembled and amended by David Perry, illustrated and illuminated by Evelyn Murrow. Ben Milton is the guy who created Knave.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this is a completely free download. This is the mobile optimized version, which just means it's nice and big, and I enjoyed reading it. It's great to read it on your phone. There are spread versions of it as well if you want to read it. But what I really want to talk about, yes, Ben Milton created Knave, and he is the guy that does Questing Beast. I don't know if you guys have read it or seen any Questing Beast reviews. It's like 20, 30-minute reviews that he does on YouTube. Steve Lumpkin is the GM of Roleplay the West Marches. And some other people as well. So OSR is becoming bigger and bigger and more popular. I think it's kind of like a counter movement against the 5e movement a little bit. And those games are just the simplified mechanics and A different style of play is what people are looking for. I know it's what I'm looking for. So this is great timing for the things that we're doing. So this is just advice. And this is a quote I really want to talk about. And it is from Ben Milton. The more of the following a campaign has, the more old school it is. High lethality, an open world, a lack of pre-written plot, an emphasis on creative problem solving, an exploration-centered reward system, a disregard for encounter balance, and the use of random tables to generate world elements that surprise both players and referees. Also a strong do-it-yourself attitude and a willingness to share your work and use the creativity of others in your game. That is the premise of this game. That is the premise of a lot of the OSR games. Is basically, it's deadly, it's dangerous. I'm not prepping a massive storyline to try to push you guys through. The world exists. You are exploring in it. You can die very easily. You are not necessarily supposed to fight everything. And loot is the way that you advance, is the basics of OSR. So, yeah. That is how,
cool.
Yeah, that's how Victor Basics is going to be. Be prepared for that. Again, anyone that hasn't read this, click that link, read it. And in the back of the page, it talks about how to be good players in an OSR world. Play to win, but have fun dying. The only dead end is death. Yeah, basically, again, don't expect to be like demigods destined to defeat the bad guys. You are just a bunch of greedy chucklefucks dungeoneering, fighting things, getting loot so you can buy better life, basically, and more experience.
Right, but what are we doing in the game?
I mean, we're role playing ourselves.
Yeah. All right.
It's like my Dark Souls struggles feel like they're gonna pay off here. Like savor the death, try and learn shit, hit all the walls, and maybe it's fake. Just.
Hey, Alexa, play Titanic Flute.
Yeah, we'll get the sound alerts on for this. We can have Mario. Ian said, unlike many modern RPGs, your character starts with little power. So people are squishy, but Hunter, would you say a 5th edition wizard and a first level wizard and Victor Basic are a little bit different?
Oh, they're way different. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're way
so
different.
so in Victory,
D&D is such an over the top super power fantasy at this point that past level 1, like level 1's the only time where you're like, I might die, and after that you're like, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're good. But even at level 1, it's you only have 5 hit points. You have 0 armor, which is just damage soak. So once you take literally just 5 points of damage, you're dead. The only damage that you're putting out is 1d4 plus 1. Plus your spells, and that is it. That is all you got.
I'm at D&D level 1. Like you're.
Oh no, I'm saying right now with Victory Basic level 1, and even when you go up to level 2,
yeah,
yeah, even when you go to level 2, if you don't put a point in Dex, even if you do get your 1 point in Dex, you now can soak 1 damage, and that is the extent of your armor. So the most damage soak you can ever have is 3 if you put all of your points early into Dex, and that is it. So yes, again, like you just said, after first level, you're really not super squishy. And even at first level, you can create a wizard that's got like 16 AC roughly? Like I created a first level, oh, not alchemist, what's the, artificer, that just baseline 19 HP, or 19 AC. Like, not even trying hard, just 19 AC. So, your statistical odds of getting hit by creatures at first level are basically nothing. So, yeah, I do agree, very, very low levels of 5e, but you very, very quickly... Cantankerous, hello. Running full-blown Fako or going to use the ascending method. So this is a 2d6 system. As a variant on Dungeon World, and you roll 2d6. Let me find the battle section. Oh, I guess that's not where I wanted to go. We'll start making moves. Yeah, on a 10 or more you succeed. On a 7 and 9 you succeed, but the referee gets to make a move. So then, the other person automatically just hits. So if you punch a goblin in the face, but you roll a 7 and 9, it gets to hit you back. And if you have 1 damage soak and it hits you for 3 damage, you take 2 damage, and that is it. And on a 6 or less, you try to punch a goblin, you miss, it punches you, you take damage. That is the extent of the mechanics. Like, it's pretty simple. It's very straightforward, but very, I love 2d6. It is my favorite kind of variant right now on RPGs, because I don't have to roll anything.
Everything so easy. It makes everything so easy.
Yeah, and you don't need to roll multiple rolls. It's very streamlined. Like, you roll 1 roll, and that determines whether you hit and it hits, and then you just do a little bit of math and move on. And there's no, like, fudging stuff behind a screen. There's no any of that. Like, you roll, and the consequences of your actions are on your rolls, and that is it. And I really like just how clean and nice it is. Eventually, maybe we'll play test a system that I'm working on that's 2d6 based if I actually stop being an ADHD piece of shit and work on it instead of sitting on my phone. But we'll see.
It's so nice to just disconnect on your phone.
I don't disagree with you. So yeah, I highly recommend reading the Prince of Apocrypha, and on that website I linked, there's a ton of other things just about... What are you laughing about?
Just these fucking goofballs that we're hanging out with.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good time. I can't wait. This is we got a good crew here. Yeah. So it'll be very enjoyable. Do you guys have? Do we need other things to do? I don't remember what happens in your session. I mean, again, so there's not like an old RP. I'm not creating a plot. So if we need to talk about like safety tools and things like that, again, not to say anything about anyone, I don't think there's going to be a lot of any of those things coming up. But if there are issues, like, you can just be like, hey, I need to take a bathroom break, or shoot me a message on Discord or anything like that. But for the most part, you're pretty much just killing monsters and solving puzzles. But don't be afraid to take a break if you need to. And what else do we do in Zero? Again, a lot of times in Zero sessions, I set like the setting. I give you guys a lot of stuff. You create character backgrounds that link together, and we're not doing any of that stuff. You're just 3 Dungeoneers that decided to go dungeoneering together. And you are Ginger, Moses, and Hunter. So Ginger, what are you again? Class, race, and alignment.
Yeah, I am a dwarf neutral fighter.
And Moses?
I have to be a human cleric.
And you are lawful to start?
Lawful to start.
Got it. And Hunter?
I'm a chaotic elven lizard boy.
Nice. Wizard boy.
With the boy.
Yeah.
Wizard boy.
Can you guys have any other suggestions for potential like bonuses that you guys can have? So again, the Banes are going to be I can subtract, basically as the audience you can cast spells on the party. If you cast a Bane, I get to hold on to a -1 to anyone's roll. The way we're going to do it too is you have to declare it before you roll, not after. Like, the number. It's not like you're trying, like, if you roll this, it's this. So you say, I'm going to go ahead and use my Bless for this, or I would say I'm going to go ahead and use my Bane for this. And if you want to bless a Bane, it's not a roll, it's a flat number, so you'd basically just neutralize my Bane, or I will neutralize your Bless, is what it comes down to, and you would just roll with a flat roll. Fuck yeah, Circe victory. I knew you were going to come in strong with this.
Because we need more
right, because it's going to be so easy for us to walk through without Ryan's Banes.
I mean, my biggest thing is just going to be, like, I know it's on me. Like, if I choose to, like, trigger something or to attack, it's probably going to get a counter. Like, just the numbers are against us.
I mean, it depends. I'll use my Banes, but I'm not gonna do them, like, I'll use it more for flavor than just to fuck with you, you know what I mean? Like, I'll use it when you really need to get that roll.
Well, less the Banes, more just rolling a total of 12. 3, or 10, 11, and 12 is
a
25% chance to avoid a counter.
I will also say, how about this? If you decide to use a bless, but you roll a 12, you don't use your bless. You can hold on to it.
Ooh.
But the counter to that is, if I bane you and you roll a double 1, I don't use my bane. How does that sound?
That's fair.
Cool.
Gilded Troll coming in with the moosey bits. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blesses.
Thanks, I love you.
For the moose.
Thanks.
That's 5 to start. Cantankerous.
Nice.
Ooh. Hold up. What is the red and the blue? Again, this is a bane. It gives me a -1 to add to any of the players' rolls whenever I feel like it. The gold is a bless that lets him add a +1 to any of their rolls. And the blue is a shield. It is a one-time. You can only have one at a time. It is a one use, not for an entire turn. It's just for the time you're getting hit right now. And it will be between 3. It'll be either 3 or 5. I'm going to talk to Sursa, since he created the game, what is best balanced for damage soak. But again, you can only hold one at a time. And once it's done, you have to accrue another one somehow. What do we got here? Steph coming in, doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Ginger, and 1 for Hunter.
Wizards don't need any help. They're pretty tough, you know.
Yeah.
You're all right, champ.
I'm the hardest.
2 more for Hunter with the biddies. Thank you, Steph, for that.
Yeah.
Watch him. I'm sure Ginger and I will roll like shit even with the blesses, and Hunter's gonna make it out alive, like first to 11.
RNG loves to just
I'm
screw
gonna push
me
you
over.
guys in the way.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
There's no anti-backstab mechanic, so. Yeah.
Oh,
Pick
and
up-
then Savaris just came in with 3 more banes. So thank you. So, starting off with 4 banes for me, 5 blesses for Ginger, 5 blesses for Moose, and 3 blesses for Hunter. Oh, Papa Jedi coming in, dropping another one for Ginger and Moose. It helps.
And
it helps.
Hunter.
Across the board.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be
Hunter,
pretty-
another one across the board.
Can we stack
Thank you.
blesses? Can we?
No.
How many can I use? No, yeah, once a turn, once a roll.
Yeah, once per roll. Can you do that?
I like to cash in 6 blesses, please.
Yeah, I'm just gonna auto hit this. All right. So let me get the one for Hunter, and this will be the Papa Jedi ones. And then I'll see what else is coming in. People just smoking all their biddies right now.
I'm
All
gonna
that
need
XP.
them.
And that
Not
is
that they roll
another
over from
one.
characters.
Another one from Skull for Hunter, and then 2 more Baney boys. Thank you, Skull. That puts me at 6. So everyone's at 6. Hunter's at 5. And then shields. The other thing that I'm gonna talk to Circe about is potentially so in our Dark Kingdoms game, or in all of our 5e games, we have Blesses, Banes, Shields, False Life, and then the cards that aren't, don't really matter because we're not gonna use this for this. So I don't know if we're gonna use potentially maybe like a False Life or something like that. And I'm thinking about potentially adding like a big tier reward to summon like a wandering monster, just anytime, and then that person can just roll in the chat. I think we have a D100 in the chat. We do 60. So we'll just kind of determine and decide if there might be one additional. Let me cast False Life and triple the wizard's. Yeah, literally triple the wizard's HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe they can cast like a heal or something, and you can get like 1 HP back or something like that. We'll see. But as of right now, I think this is what looks good to me. You get a little bit of a bonus. You get a little bit of damage soak again that you can't hold on to. But that's I think that's about where we're at as far as the mechanics. Any other questions either from chat or from you guys, just about either how it's run, or just how the game's going to go. And just to say, this will be a 3-session long arc to start, and it's going to be Thursdays, starting with the first Thursday in November. I'm not sure exactly what the dates are. It will be the 4th. Go down. 4, 11, and 18 will be the 3 sessions that we're running. And so part of the dungeon is, again, you can just rest. So on the end of that third arc, that third session, you will either be out of the dungeon or you will be resting in the dungeon. And if we choose to pick this up again, we'll just see how far you can progress until you get to level 11 and retire. So,
we're not going to make
questions, concerns, issues, anything.
I think not now. I think it'd be good to figure out like shorthand for the mapping stuff, because I feel like if things can change every time we leave, good or bad.
We don't have to share it though. It's just on the map maker to know their stuff.
Each of us is going to have
a turn map making map.
Or do we share it? Like we can meta.
I mean, as long as you can understand what you write down, you'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, and don't forget, like, this is not 5e. You can meta the shit out of every decision, every action. There's no hiding things. I'm not going to hide anything from you. For the most part, like, if there is a consequence to an action, you will know that consequence before you do it. I'm not just going to be like, here's a pit. Like, I'll tell you, this is a pit. It's 15 feet wide. You know what you need to roll. At the bottom there are spikes or whatever it is. Like, when there are consequences to something, there's not going to be, like... There might be things that are, like, hidden in the game. You need to find a hidden door, things like that. But I'm not going to keep information from you that you might need, and you can ask questions about the consequences. So they're not going to be a lot of, like, necessarily hidden consequences. I mean, that's not to say that if you walk across a trap, it's not... I'm going to be like, there's a trap right there. But if a situation arises where you need to make a decision, you will have an informed decision. So...
is there a secret door within my line of sight?
Currently, right now,
yeah.
No.
I get it once a day, so I thought I'd burn it.
Yeah. Burn it now.
Yeah. Well, you're actually in your own home, so you tell me. Is there a secret door in your line of sight?
How many trap
there are
doors
definitely mechanical traps in my house. That's my concern right now.
I mean,
which one am I going to trigger next?
Well. Roll high. You'll be fine.
I mean,
cool.
I gotta go to the dispensary first, but
there you go.
Hey guys, I'm in Texas and I feel left out of that conversation. So,
oh, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. Legal here.
You know,
it sucks to be in Texas right now.
Yeah.
Well, and usually.
No, and usually.
God. Well, thank God you're playing a class that's beefy and you won't die to add to your
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, if I die, I'm sitting right here and I'm just gonna yell at y'all the entire
just
time.
Weep openly, just like rage crying.
Yeah. Oh, it's all about the rage crying. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm a really sore loser. I just cry all the time, you know.
Yeah. Halo, the lottery, it's all the same.
Okay, I made a really ugly character sheet for myself. Very good.
Didn't you get the character sheet? There is a character sheet, like...
Yeah, but I like to use Google Sheets, and I like to make it all nice, put descriptions and notes in, so it's like shorthand that's easy, you know?
Hey, you do what you feel you need to do.
Like a PDF editable version of the one that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, you could just throw it into, like, Adobe and just, like, add lines.
Yeah.
Like...
Right. So much work. Yeah, so let's figure that out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So much work.
Maybe I could have just pulled a PDF in and made one, but I absolutely did not.
No, that's fine.
God,
I do this for pretty much every game now. So I just make a little Google sheet.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so easy.
This one's simple enough that we don't, like, if we do something, it's not like a Google sheet. It's not too bad.
No.
Yeah, no.
You could literally just you could literally just export PDF of the actual sheet and then just like circle things, like, yeah. But yeah, there is a character sheet for it. I'm just trying to. I feel like we didn't even. It's not even been 2 hours. It was like a super short.
Not that many rules. Saw 5e?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Basically, don't be stupid, and you might survive. Is essentially
or do be and just see what happens with that.
We already discussed the doobies.
Roll the dice.
Hunter can't protect
the doobies. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, be stupid. Hunter dies. You know.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's gonna be up front. Like I'm the one that's probably gonna die first.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Well, you do have more damage soak than just about anybody. I mean, your armor and H. What are you starting with? Your armor and HP to start?
10 plus con, so I'll have 11 hit points to start, and 10 hit points to start and 4 armor. It's strength dex.
Yeah, because you have strength and dex, not con. Yeah. So you have 10 HP. Yeah, you'll have four damage soak already. You have almost as much damage soak as Hunter has hit points. Literally.
Almost. But it's like fuck Hunter, huh? Everyone's
wait a minute. No, you actually have exactly, because you don't get con to start, do you, Hunter?
No.
So it's 4 plus con. So you literally have as much damage.
I have one con.
Your con.
Do you start?
Yeah.
You do start with 1 con. Yeah, so you have 5 HP and he has 4 damage soak. So double your HP. Yeah.
How hard do things hit? Like that's great, but they're gonna hit like for 5 damage for like.
I can pull up a monster stat block real quick and just kind of give you a little.
Put it in perspective.
Something.
Like
just a tiny little. Yeah. Let's look at monsters and treasure. Here we go. Monsters and treasure.
Gotta do the dragon horde.
Yeah, monsters A to Z. Oh, caches and hordes is fun too, because I'll roll for a small cache, large cache, all that kind of stuff too. So you can get a ton of damage just to start. Monsters. So just to describe what monsters are, there are tags. Similar to PBA, there are moves and things like that. But there's a number of monsters that appear. The hit dice that the monster has, which is which is their HP and stuff. Hit dice are non-analogous to character level. Dungeons on any level can fight monsters of any HD value. Monsters with higher HD are just more dangerous to the Dungeoneers and appear more frequently on deeper dungeon levels. Armor, which is damage soak, their attack, their instinct, the goal that drives monsters' behavior, and a list of their moves. So to start, let's randomly go boop, 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 boop. Owlbear. It is a beast, a hoarder, it's mighty, it's ravenous, it's a tracker. You see 2 to 5 owlbears appear. They have 3 hit dice, 1 damage soak. Their attacks are beaks or claws, which is 1d8 plus 5. Their instinct is to claim new hunting grounds, so you'll actually see them exploring different areas. And their moves are cause bleeding with razor-sharp claws, snatch up a fleeing enemy, swoop down from the forest canopy, or deafen or daze trespassers with high-pitched keening. So those are the things that I can do on my turn.
1d8 plus 5, so max is 13.
Yeah. And you fight 2 to 5 of these.
At first level, even if it maxes out, it can do 9 damage to me.
Yeah.
Like, nearly shot me.
I don't think you need 2 to 5. I feel like just one.
A very important part of OSR is the world exists as the world exists, and you're not supposed to fight everything.
Well,
so if you see 5 if you see 5 owlbears chilling, maybe walk away.
Archer has
supposed to be able
to plan now.
The world is not balanced to suit you. If a beefier creature came up from the dungeon depths and decided they liked a room on level 1, you open the door and see a dragon. Again, it is best to close the door and move on.
It's their room now.
How did the dragon get in the room? Is it a small dragon? Is it a ooze dragon? Anyway.
Asking the important questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say running was always going to be easy. Purple worm.
I'm pretty sure the first henchman is going to be the archers, only because I feel like we're going to run like how at least once a day, so to be able to be like, hey guys, like
capturing dragons, demons, and demi-liches. Is that in there? I think there's actually
capturing. We just go straight to level 11 if that happens, because I feel like that's just you've won. That's victory, basically.
Capturing demons, basically.
Basic victory.
That's victory.
Victory, basic, yeah.
Subduing dragons, commanding demons. When the Dungeoneers first encounter a dragon on a level of the dungeon, they may choose to subdue the dragon rather than slay it. The Dungeoneers must announce their intention to subdue a dragon at the start of the battle, and they may only attempt to subdue it if a fighter wielding a magic sword and bearing a magic shield stands amongst their ranks. When attempting to subdue a dragon, Dungeoneers deal only half damage from their attacks and spells. However, at the end of each round of battle, the fighter must roll a number of 6-sided dice equal to half the dragon's total hit dice rounded up. If the total result of all dice is greater than or equal to the dragon's remaining hit points, the Dungeoneers have successfully subdued the dragon. Once a dragon is subdued... once the dragon is subdued, the Dungeoneers may demand the dragon offer up one random item from its hoard per day. Each time a fighter in the party gains a level, that Dungeoneer must roll Charisma. On a 6 or less, the dragon escapes with its hoard to a deeper level of the dungeon.
Well, now tanking my charisma isn't exactly the smart thing if I can maintain control of a subdued dragon.
You just roll really well.
Yeah, just roll awesome all the time. If you just roll 12 every time, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's not like RNG games love to screw me over or anything.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Me neither. RNGesus. The process for commanding a Merilith or Balor is similar to the process of subduing dragons described above. However, it must be initiated by a wizard bearing a scroll with the demon's true name inked upon it. If a demon is commanded, it is bound to the Dungeoneers and will cast one wizard spell of 9th level or lower per day at their behest. Each time a wizard in the party gains level, they must roll Charisma or risk the demon escaping and imprisoning a lich. The process for imprisoning a lich is similar, however, it must be initiated by a cleric bearing the lich's phylactery. If a lich is imprisoned, it is trapped by the Dungeoneers and will cast one cleric level spell of 9th or lower per day at their behest, and same thing with Charisma. So you can actually have dragons, demons, and liches subdued or commanded.
Cool.
Monster by hit dice, various monster.
And it's yours until you level. So like you could risk just like hoarding gold and just day after day pimping ourselves out and then finally upgrade, like leveling.
Potentially, or just roll well with your charisma. I mean,
I'm not banking on any kind of.
You keep saying just roll.
You keep
well,
saying that like
control.
It's so easy, guys. Just
roll
well.
Why doesn't everybody do it?
Just get good. Like I don't understand what your concern is. Just
really, you should manipulate the random number generator built into.
So wandering monsters is another thing. At certain points during the game, ask the party mapper to make a wandering monster roll on a d6. You should call for a wandering monster roll from a party mapper each time the Dungeoneers make a lot of noise, such as breaking down a door. The Dungeoneers stop to rest, or the Dungeoneers linger too long in a single chamber, up to my discretion. If the party mapper rolls a 1 on the wandering... Yeah, see?
That's the one there. That's the one.
Yeah. If the party mapper rolls a 1... the Wandering Monster tables, roll on the Wandering Monster table to determine the strength of the monster that the Dungeoneers encounter and the monster's activity at the moment they encountered it. So, basically, it is what they were... So let's do D100 for a Wandering Monster. It's a 77. So that would be, it's a dungeon level plus 4 or less. That's a hit dice of the monster. And it was... carrying out a routine task appropriate for the dungeon. So, dragon was pooping, and you interrupted it. Yeah. And it's on you now.
Handed some toilet paper, and we're good?
Shit.
Or...
Wait.
1 to 15 is one of my favorites. Fleeing from an even more powerful monster.
Fuck that. What? What is?
Maybe a goblin's fleeing from a dragon.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like just the dragon specifically. And I was like, what's bigger?
No. So
I mean,
yeah, you're determining what the hit dice is. So dungeon level plus 4 or less. So I could always beat nice. So say you're on the 3rd level of the dungeon, I could have a thing up to 7 hit dice, so you could battle a human, a kobold, or a sturge. No. I'm sorry. A giant, a basilisk, or a hydra. That's how numbers work.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Or less, so I could make it a human with 1 hit dice. A troll has 4 hit dice. A demon is apparently... So the most difficult thing to battle in the whole game is a demon, a Balor, which is 15 hit dice. And a lich has 14.
Is 14?
Yeah.
Holy
Purple
crap.
worms
Dragons
have 12.
13.
Yeah, dragons and Merilith have 13. Mummies have 13. Vampires have 9.
So if you scroll up, there's like lower hit dice demons. So I feel like demons is maybe easy. If we do subdue something, demons are the only one that have.
We're not
9 or
subduing
less.
anything.
Well,
Why not?
what lower
Well,
demon do you have besides the Merilith or the Balor?
Oh yes, demon
golems.
succubus is 9.
Ooh. Give me 1 second. You guys peruse this thing.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, even for me I have to have a magic sword and shield to even be able to think about subduing a dragon.
Why you just don't think about it, just do it, you know?
Just stand there with my door, like, subdue it, and then just fucking dead. Like, what happened? Forgot my magic shield today. Like, I left it in my other adventure pack.
Okay, once a day, I can cast a ritual. So the ritual one's interesting. So ritual, once per day outside of battle, you may draw upon a place of arcane power to cast a ritual. Name a non-directly damaging effect you like to create in a dungeon that alters the environment for 1 day.
Everything had the thing with it's interesting, but like everything has a negative. So like what?
Right. So
If you succeed, it's positive, but what's it really going to do to us?
So
Like,
yeah, what
especially
are
knowing-
what are some non-damage dealing effects like
move a hallway.
move
Like, what are the limits?
Like,
I guess
ladder
my
to the
question
next
is, what are
floor down,
Yeah, what are
maybe?
the limitations?
the limitations are that it doesn't directly deal damage.
Alright, so move
right,
a
so
hallway. Move.
There's
Get,
a
put the
ladder down
entrance-
to the next level. Is
right.
like
if we're trying to get out, you
us.
could put the entrance right next to us or something.
That's
maybe?
true. Let's see. One example. Cersa says one example from a recent game was forming a stone bridge over a chasm to create a shortcut. Okay, very interesting. I was thinking
Sure.
something like create like low light to make it easier to search around the dungeon. That's
You
a
gotta,
really cool one. Okay,
you gotta
so
dream
creating
big, Neo.
bridges. You know, yeah, you're right. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizardy boy. So
You gotta
you're
be
a wizard,
boy.
Harry.
fucking squishy wizard. I'm gonna have the dwarf stand in front of me the entire time. Okay,
Mhm.
Right.
cool.
Now, are you like a tall elf or are you like a shorter elf?
I'm like
What's the
a
height
regular.
order?
I'm like a average height elf. You know.
Right, but I mean, like in the
What is it?
grand scheme of elves, do we have like
Yeah.
Tolkien elves,
So,
or are we talking
no, like 9'8", you know,
oh,
very
just
average
casual? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Like Ginger's
Oh,
height.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Got
my
it.
height. Like again, my average is skewed. So if you say average height, like you gotta clarify that because
Well,
like
sure. I mean,
you know, 5'8" is short to me.
yeah,
What
yeah,
the
that tracks.
fuck was going on? My cats were like running around the other room and just like, what is it? Whatever. They didn't break
Are they,
anything.
like-
I don't care that much.
Climbing the walls or something with their tiny little razors.
Maybe. No, the kittens are in the room with me. The
Oh,
regular
okay.
sized cats are in the living room with my dog. Jason, the referee did bail. I'm now the referee.
Right.
Everyone gets
Everything's
1,000
going.
gold. Yeah, everyone gets
Sweet.
1,000 gold.
Awesome.
We're doing the shit already. So we're like level 7 or something? 6?
Yeah, what was the
Hey. What does it take? 1,000 gold. What's the level up table?
That would only take us to like level 4 or so, I think. Where
Is
is
it
the
4?
table?
Math's hard.
'Cause
3,
you need
6. It's level
100, 200.
No, we get we're at level 5. We can buy
Yeah, Steph, we just failed. So
Ooh.
no.
Oh,
well,
fuck.
we just tripped. We did the
Yeah.
quick run and then the first step we just missed and
Yep. You just
Oh,
fucking
I'm
face
sorry. You
plant on the
actually
stairs.
All of
stubbed
us.
your toe.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
we
it
did
hurts
level
for a
5.
second. Yeah.
Beat 1,000 gold.
That's okay. Steph, it's okay. You rolled 20 for Thong earlier, so I mean,
wrong.
You're
but I mean, you can crit a Thong too. I mean, that also would. Yeah.
Isn't that just a wedgie?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's just.
No, it fits perfectly. But...
Oh God.
So we can't talk about like role playing. I would.
There's
usually...
no.
Oh fuck! He's back. Everyone, shh, quiet. Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Yeah, totally.
Well, we can hear you. Yeah, we can totally hear you.
You're flipping us off.
It's not.
We forgot to unmute ourselves. Was that the reason?
It's not like I can't hear you all when I'm not at the table. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good times, y'all.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions, concerns? Does chat have any questions or concerns, or do you want to wrap up our session 0 and in 2 weeks die?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good. How are y'all? You know.
Pretty good. Yeah. I'm along for the ride.
Okay. Let's decide who we are going to raid real quick.
About
what's that?
Your agenda. Sources put a question in the chat. Do you see that?
Oh, Ryan, do you think it would be helpful to go over your DM agenda principles in Volume 3?
Ooh, yeah. Let's pull up Volume 3 real quick.
Let's see.
I love how fantastic this box set is. I really enjoyed like looking through it.
Yeah, it is.
It says fantastic right on the subtitle there.
There we go. Yeah.
Referee's agenda and the principles of refereeing, and then all of this building the dungeon stuff is what I'm going to be digging through starting next week. Referee's agenda. You have 3 primary goals as a referee. Portray a fantastic world, fill the Dungeoneers' lives with adventure, and play to find out what happens. When creating and running your dungeon, everything you do should be in the service of those 3 goals. The rules of this game have been designed to assist you in achieving these 3 goals to the exclusion of all others. Portray a fantastic world. It is magic, mystery, and imagination. The levels of the dungeon and worlds beyond should be teeming with fanciful, monstrous, and the weird. The Dungeoneers have taken it upon themselves to enter this fantastic underworld and brave its dangers in search of treasure. It is my role as a referee to establish in detail this strange realm and encourage them to explore it. I'm going to fill your lives with adventure. I'm just going to fill all of you right up.
So every day, every moment.
Every day.
That's what I signed up for. Please.
Yeah.
It is not a game of grand storytelling or simulating medieval life. As described in this section of this volume on running the dungeon, each session begins and ends with the Dungeoneers entering and leaving the dungeon. Maybe. My role as referee is to present the Dungeoneers with dangers and rewards and entice them down into ever deeper levels of the dungeon. Should the Dungeoneers find themselves meandering through corridors and chambers without purpose or describing the minutiae of their camp making, it is my responsibility to introduce conflict and shift the focus to your next quest. And play to find out what happens. Fuck around and find out. That's
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty sure.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna fuck around, so.
Well, you will find out.
That's to be assumed with us.
Yeah. A game of Victory Basic does not have a plot, and the dungeon does not adapt to guarantee the Dungeoneer's success. The dungeon is a sandbox filled with myriad monsters, traps, treasures, and places of power that are designed to interact in unpredictable ways. My role as a referee is not to usher the Dungeoneers through a predetermined story. Instead, my responsibility is to be the narrator and impartial arbiter of the Dungeoneers' actions, many of which will surprise and amuse both of us, all of us, every one of us. Such play results in truly exciting and memorable moments. My principles of refereeing. I draw maps and leave blanks. I embrace the fantastic. I think dangerous. I offer great rewards for great tasks. This is the one that will always stick with me about this style of game. Every roll puts the Dungeoneers at risk. Make clear to the Dungeoneers that they put themselves and their companions in danger each time they roll. Failure should never result in nothing happens. Always bring to bear a threat, diminish the Dungeoneers' resources, or reveal unwelcome knowledge. So, if you want to run, don't try to hit something.
Sure.
It's a good rule for life, honestly. You know?
Can I hit the ground running?
That
I mean,
I would say
based on
that
Steph's
would be
roll, we will hit the ground when we start running. Like literally, just gonna fall over.
That's literally 2 ones.
It's gonna be like Kung Fu Hustle, is really how it's gonna be like.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying I can
That's
punch a
how-
hole straight through someone?
Absolutely, and like the hand of God can come down and squish the baddest guy. Yeah.
So you're saying I can inhale a single whole cigarette and scream at the top of my lungs and just blast people away?
Yeah.
You can't do
Perfect.
that.
Nah.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I think I've practiced more.
Seriously. I was definitely thinking
I'll-
of Kung Pao and not Kung Fu Hustle, but that's on me.
The principles, I might keep those close to the vest. Maybe
Well,
not.
you're on stream right now, bud. I don't know if you.
Well, listen, like if you're gonna pause and read through them all individually after the
there's
stream.
a VOD.
Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, it's not. It's just letting me know how to do things. Like draw the maps and leave blanks. Like don't fill every conceivable area. Things can change based on the things that you do. Embrace the fantastic. Of course we are. Let's gonna get weird, guys. Think dangerous, as I said before.
Yeah.
It is a perilous place that attracts masters of melee and magic. And I will reinforce the peril at every opportunity.
Obviously.
Make clear to the Dungeoneers that everything can be put in danger and destroyed, including their treasure, their knowledge, their allies, and their lives. Is that clear?
Yep.
All right. You will get great rewards for great tasks. I already talked about everything.
I don't know if this is on.
Streamlabs.
There we go. We back. Yeah. I think it's a
Hey, we
Twitch
back?
thing.
Yay, friends, we back. Yeah, it's weird because nothing else on my computer is lost.
Nope.
Lost. I mean, obviously I'm in Zoom. Like,
I'm a seasoned pro for that issue, so never fear. I know how to get that shit fixed.
there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. We're back. I don't know what people missed. I was talking about making moves. Don't say I want to roll this. Tell me what you want to do. Like, just describe your actions all throughout the entire course of this. Or like in combat, you know, like again, like I'm not going to do a spellcasting roll. I'm going to raise my wand and cast fireball at the dragon, whatever. I will tell you what's a roll. You will know sometimes that you're going to roll, especially with moves within combat, but especially out of combat. Just describe what you want to do. You're not always going to have to roll. I will just tell you if and when you need to roll. So you should just be descriptive of your actions. And as this says, begins and end with the fiction. It is a fictional world. Have fun in it and describe your actions. I have to make moves that follow. So again, your actions determine when I get to make moves. Ask questions, use the answer. Ask the Dungeoneers questions that force him to consider hard choices. And when you make hard choices, guess what? I'll make them harder for you.
Giggity.
Use the Dungeoneers' answers to these questions to flesh out or worsen dangers they will face deeper in the dungeon. So, if you had to lose something right now, would it be all your torches or all your arrows? Oh, no.
Arrows.
So, arrows.
Yeah. No one's using arrows.
Definitely
So all of our
arrows.
arrows.
Oh no? What's oh no?
Oh, so sometimes when the stream closes and opens back up, the giveaways reset.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hopefully everyone is still in it.
It says going on. It says this. It's going on.
What, the giveaway?
Yeah.
The
It
bot
says, yeah,
said
the-
that the
the
giveaway
bot
is
said
going
it's
on.
still active.
Yeah. But I don't know. Damn, Streamlabs, what the hell?
Typical.
Oh yeah, it still says it's good. There's only 6 users in there right now, so anyone that hasn't done exclamation point giveaway that wants to win a sweet Sursa Victory shirt, who created this game, whose logo is all over this right now, make sure you do that because you will get a free shirt sent directly to you. And
If
you
we
can
wanted
rep
to
the Sursa
buy
swag.
one, is there a
It's in
place
the
to
merch
buy
store.
one?
It's literally in the merch store.
Is it?
I
Or
sent
you
you a
can
link to
merch
the merch
store.
store.
You did. Send
Remember
me,
when I
know,
messaged
got
you
a
very
hoodie.
recently that said, "Give me your swag order, homie"?
Yeah, I got a hoodie. You know, but I'm gonna buy myself
Now
a
he
shirt.
wants a
There's
t-shirt.
a Sursa sticker. There's all sorts of stuff in there.
It is a.
I can turn the baseball tee back on if you want one of those.
I'm a big
Let's drop
baseball
an exclamation
guy.
point merch in the chat. I love the baseball tees. Got some new sweet cheese merch. Think off screen, which I will. Embrace player knowledge. There is no separation between what the player knows and what the dungeoneer knows. Encourage experienced delvers to leverage their knowledge of the dungeon and its dangers so that they might have a better likelihood of survival. That said, be clear that the dungeon is an uncertain place and that they must never take their knowledge for granted. Sursa Toeless socks. Yeah, we're going to get that up in the merch store. Yeah.
It's alarming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sursa beer
Ooh,
coaster.
dungeon levels. This is fun. You know what this reminds me of so hard every time I look at this? Hunter is Necropolis.
Oh yeah, classic, amazing
so
game.
there are basically like
Necropolis.
it's so good. There are basically like 10. It's some procedurally generated like dungeon. Like every time you go down, it just generates a level based with the theme. So there are 10 different like level types. Traditional, occult, fungus, hellish, iron, blight, aquatic, frozen, and necropolis. So I could either go the 10 levels down those 10 things, or I'll just roll a d10 for each one, eliminating things as it goes. Yeah, Cersei just said the biomes are inspired in part by Necropolis. Hell yeah. So
Nice, awesome. Actually,
Such a
Ginger,
good
you
game.
love that game. It's very.
Oh my god, it's so fun.
The controls are straight out
heard of
Dark
it.
Souls, so.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's a
literally like a
video
Dark
game.
Souls light. Like it's basically a leveling Dark Souls light, like
Primary sport for no
procedurally generated world that's full of goofy fucking shit too. I love like the fucking little chicken guy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so as I'm building the dungeon, so you guys have a little glimpse of what's gonna go on. Each level will have a theme. Even like the connections between dungeon levels, I will roll on that to determine each level how you get to the next one. I'm literally gonna roll as much as physically and humanly possible. Furnishing the dungeon chambers, literally gonna roll on this. Every aspect of everything I can do, each room will be done. Dark Souls isn't procedurally generated though. Is that being sarcastic? Is Dark Souls procedurally generated? No, so
No.
it uses Dark Souls light mechanics in the game, but every time you go in the game, it will be a different game. Like every level is every single level can be different every time. The monsters that in it, like you can hit 3 different Necropolis levels, and the game, as soon as you start leveling down, just generates a different procedurally generated level each time. I think Hunter and me one time got down to the final level of the dungeon and never came back to play it. I think that's the farthest we got.
Yeah.
Your commitment
that's what we
is
did.
really what.
We were
really
killing
right.
it though. It's fun because you can play. The cool thing is you can play up to 4 players, but you can also injure each other. So if you're multi-playing and you get too close, you can actually kill your party members. Ooh, Dungeoneer decisions. These are really, really, really fun. Dungeon, and this is great for just in general for DMing everything. Like anyone that likes to DM, these are really, really cool. Dungeon adventures are a series of difficult decisions the Dungeoneers must make with limited resources, information, and time. Each challenge in your dungeon should present the Dungeoneers with at least one of the decisions below. Mutually exclusive actions. The Dungeoneers must choose between 2 or more mutually exclusive courses of action. Risk versus reward. The Dungeoneers must choose between a low-risk pass. You bought Sursa Victory.
Huh?
bought a
Nate,
whole
well-
Sursa. Wow, I didn't know Sursa was for sale.
Did Sursa consent to that?
Too late now.
When you're buying and selling people, I don't think consent's really the
Sursa, I'll see you later, buddy.
I mean,
God.
Yeah. Finally, he has been purchased. Yeah. No one's bought something live before. I guess the alert box is a little too trimmed up. Take me away from this life. Risk versus reward. Low risk path with modest rewards or high risk path with greater rewards. Now versus later. The Dungeoneers must choose between a minor benefit now or a major benefit later. Alternatively, they must manage a limited use resource that can't be used later if it's used now. Resource trade. Give you guys an opportunity to trade a resource useful in combat with a resource useful in exploration, or vice versa. Offense versus defense. You must choose between an offensive resource such as magic, weapons, or wands, or a defensive resource such as armors or potions. Dilemma. Force the Dungeoneers to give up something valuable as punishment for falling victim to a monster or trap. Meaningless decisions. A meaningless decision is one that has no impact on the adventure. No matter what the Dungeoneers choose, it'll always end up with the same outcome. Good times. Obvious decisions. An obvious decision has an effect on the adventure, but one option is so much more attractive than the others that it's not much of a choice from the Dungeoneer's perspective. Or blind decisions. The opposite of an obvious decision. A blind decision has an effect on the adventure, but the Dungeoneers have absolutely no information on which they might base their choice, rendering it essentially random. Another thing that you guys will know is rumors and legends. For each dungeon level that I create, I will come up with a set of 10 rumors or legends, 5 reliable and 5 unreliable. Of the 5 reliable rumors, 4 must be true. Of the 5 unreliable rumors, only 1 is true. The first time the Dungeoneer stops to rest for the night outside the dungeon after discovering a new dungeon level, randomly reveal 1 rumor about that level to each Dungeoneer, representing their gathering of stories from inhabitants at the nearby town or wilderness. The Dungeoneer is entitled to know that there are 10 rumors total, which of their rumors is reliable or unreliable, and the ratio of true to false rumors for both categories. Consider rewarding careful exploration of the dungeon by revealing previously unknown rumors. So you guys will know 5 reliable and unreliable rumors. You will know which are reliable and which are unreliable, but not which are false and which are true. You just know that there are, of the reliable rumors, 4 are true and 1 is false, and of the unreliable rumors, 1 is true and 4 are false.
Got it. So like, this is my brother that only tells lies, and I'm the one who tells lies.
Kind of. It's more like, reliably, you know that on this level, oftentimes, goblins and owlbears are at odds with each other. I have heard, deep down, the roar of what sounds like a mighty dragon on this level. And I'll tell you that these sound like reliable rumors, because basically the point is that you're gathering information from people that may have been down there or have heard from previous Dungeoneers about levels that you discovered, things like that. So again, of the reliable rumors, you'll know 10 rumors total for each level. Sursa Victory just dropped the entire Victory Basic box, not in print, but for you to have PDFs. So if you are here now, click that link, and you will have access to the Victory Basic PDFs, which is what I'm going over right now. I highly recommend it. Super fun game. And you learn, just by reading it, you can learn a lot about game creation, this style of system, OSR games, all of that kind of stuff. As I just said, the decision-making section is great for whatever game you run to use as you build narratives or, have the characters moving forward in any system that you run. I'll talk about, I don't need to get into density of encounters, rate of advancements, all the rest of this stuff. See, this is the amount of stuff I can roll for. Room contents, dungeon features, traps, the trap nature, the trap effect, diseases, curses, types of puzzles, all of this stuff, puzzle complications. I will be rolling all of these things for the levels throughout the next week, so that you guys will see that. And again, I'm not creating anything that I don't have to. I might flesh out some spots, make things fit a little bit more cohesively, but for the most part, it will be an incredibly randomly generated dungeon level that you guys will start in next week.
No dragons, though, right?
I mean, if I roll a dragon, you get a fucking dragon.
You don't have to roll a dragon. We're just saying it doesn't have to be dragons.
Surprise, guys! I happen to roll a dragon in the first room of the first dungeon that you run.
We would make new characters.
I will be, as much as I can, I will be trying to also do all of this on stream on my private channel, Melee After Dark. So even then, eventually, you guys can always, once this arc is over, go back and watch. Yeah, maybe watch the VODs, and you can see when I'm like, ha 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 ha. That'll be fun.
Just wait.
Yeah, you just wait. You just wait, my friends.
For everyone who didn't catch it in the chat, Cirsa also dropped a link to a new secret, a preview to a new secret thing that they've been working on. So you can click on that and see the first page. Looks pretty cool.
What? I haven't even seen this yet.
Ooh, Ryan hasn't seen it yet.
Surprise, mother trucker.
Dang. Well, I want this.
I want the box set. I know it's not in print, but I want it.
I know. I have it. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
It
comes with dice, a bunch of character sheets, some pencils, literally everything you need to just crack the box open and just go. So yeah, it is definitely worth it. And I've been running to run I mean everything Cirsa I think that I have everything Cirsa's ever done in print that's still available to be got in print. And I'm trying to run just about everything that he's done. We've run all of the Cobalt Press 5e modules that he's done. Read all the game books. Yeah, Cirsa's a great content creator and has become a really great friend. For those that don't know, I randomly, when I was running Necropolis of the Mailed Fist, which is still probably my favorite adventure of all time, for our local meetup group, I randomly got put in contact with Cirsa Victory. He was just incredibly supportive of the event, like let me pick his brain for the entire adventure, sent me a bunch of like character sheets and maps and a bunch of bonus content, gave Prive support, and then we've just kind of been chatting ever since and have become friends. So it's kind of those things like don't meet your heroes, but then sometimes it works out well, because Cirsa is my favorite content creator, so it's really nice to be able to literally have them in your chat while you're running their game. You don't often get to say that.
That's pretty
cool. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm very, very happy and very excited about that. So it's a good time. If you want to watch some other things that we've done, we did run his Tomb of Mercy. The VOD is up on YouTube and on our in the highlighted VODs on our Twitch. You can also check out the website created as well by Janelle. That has links to all of that kind of stuff. We should have a page come out for Victory Basic. We'll see. Maybe we'll be able to do some recaps. We'll see what happens with that. Cirsa, is there anything else you feel like I should specifically go over that people need? I do want some of the stuff to, like I said, dungeon events. Each time they'd stop for the night. Let's do a quick dungeon event and see what happens. 24. Nothing happens.
Cool.
Nice.
I like that one.
Cool. Okay,
we
good.
nailed it, guys. We're doing it.
29. No, come on.
No,
93.
That's not fair. That's not how
rolls
those work.
for later.
A valuable piece of magical treasure is stolen by a monster or NPC adventuring party. Oh, yes. Click on that for the cover of the next 5e module that's coming out that wraps up the trilogy of Necropolis of the Mailed Fist and Tomb of Mercy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. So, yeah, Cirsa, is there anything else that I need to tell you guys? I'm trying to think of different things that you guys need to know versus the things that you will find out. Oh, Monster Pursuit. I can track this a little bit. Hostile monsters engaged by the Dungeoneers will pursue unless they are territorial, created to guard a specific area, or possess intelligence enough to recognize situations where pursuit might not be worthwhile. Escaping out of sight. If the Dungeoneer manages to flee out of sight, such as around a corner or through a door, the party mapper should roll 1d6. On the result of a 4 or less, the monster continues to pursue the Dungeoneers. Escaping to another Dungeoneer level. If the Dungeoneers flee to another dungeon level, the party mapper should roll 1d6. On the result of a 1 or 2, the monsters follow the Dungeoneers to the other dungeon level. Escaping through secret doors, the party mapper should roll as if escaping to another dungeon level, but the monsters follow if a 1 is rolled. Dropping food and dropping treasure are both really interesting. Dropping edible items of a sufficient quality grants the party mapper the roll of 1d10. One use of a Dungeoneer's Kit is typically enough to distract bestial monsters. Intelligent monsters are distracted by the food as a result of a 10. Non-intelligent monsters are distracted on any result but a 1. Monsters that do not eat food, such as constructs or undead, cannot be distracted by food. So basically, if they dumb and you drop enough food, they'll stop. If they smart, they won't. But you get to roll whether that's a 10 or a 1 to determine that. Dropping treasure. Dropping treasure has the opposite effect as dropping food, being much more likely to distract intelligent monsters, just as with food. It's basically the same mechanic. You can drop treasure to try to get intelligent monsters to stop, and you can drop food to try to get non-intelligent monsters to stop chasing you.
And this is where the archer henchman, if we flee and I use that, there is no roll. We're just free of pursuit. Is that how that works?
Sure, yeah. What I need to do is actually create like a GM screen, because there's so much information across these 3 volumes that I know I'm going to miss a little paragraph that has really important information on it. So I need to create an actually like a layout GM screen that's got like this up there along with some of the other stuff, like some of the random roll stuff, like even like just quick links to the Wandering Monster stuff, because if you guys decide to break down a door, boom, Wandering Monster.
Clearly, after hearing his rules, I'm not touching any fucking door.
Not breaking any doors. To do it just to see what would happen, but like I know better than that.
Only with the first characters, like, can we like do things purposely bad with the first characters and then just?
I want to get a feel for it though, for a little bit.
Well, the other thing too is that sometimes you're not going to have an option. Sometimes the only way forward will be a sealed door. Get that.
And if we can't solve the puzzle,
go back to farming.
Just shoulder slam it and hope for the best.
It was a cat.
No, yeah, I definitely. Next week, my goal is to get at least 2 levels of the dungeon built, just in case you guys somehow perfectly roll everything and get far, and to create some type of quick reference document, so that I can make sure I don't fuck up Circe's game. Yeah. It sucks that this broke into 2 parts for like an extra 20-30 minutes.
It is kind of nice to have, like, with these OSR games, like, going over all the rules and knowing all of them is really good, but frankly, like, to a degree, it's just like, if you don't know everything, you just, like, referee calls it,
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like, whether I... Whether, like you just said, whether I know exactly or not, like the basic like mechanics of the game are pretty consistent and relatively simplistic. Which is not to say that simple means not like what's the word I'm looking for? Like clever or well done, just simple enough to understand. So it'll be like you just said, it'll be relatively easy if I can't dig out the rule. To just make it up because there's consistency. Fuck off.
I'm the father of cats, damn it.
Yeah, I keep trying to think of more and more stuff that I can tell you, but I think that's about it. I think we hit pretty much everything except for actually building the dungeon levels. So, what's really fun is this. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but when you can occasionally encounter rival adventuring parties. And I get to build them.
Do they roll as shitty as we do?
We can only hope.
Or are they monsters?
We're not that lucky.
Probably not.
Again, I don't roll. Literally, they will roll
so
as
even
shitty
they
as you
won't
do.
roll at all.
I don't roll.
Ever.
I don't roll.
Okay.
Yep. Wandering monsters by environment is great too. So if we start with, I'll probably say straight off the bat, the first dungeon level we do will probably be a traditional dungeon level, and then I will probably maybe assign some other ones like Necropolis or Hell to like lower levels. The first time I used the table, I generated a bunch of human fighters serving a mind flayer NPC searching for the Staff of Power. Nice. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I'm afraid.
Amazing.
I am afraid.
Yeah.
I am afraid.
Yeah, I will say the first level you do will probably be a traditional dungeon. And as I said, I might assign some levels, like much like Rogue, Circe's game that he created. I might pick some levels that would be considered like the underworld area. There might be like after like level like 7 or 6, like there might be ones that are different. So I might do like Necropolis and Hell and Occult and stuff, maybe on like lower levels, and keep like Frozen and Aquatic and stuff like that to higher levels. But we'll see. I'll roll and see what happens. But your final level could just be Hell. Like you literally just enter a portal into
Walk into Hell.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why not?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Questions, concerns?
Yeah.
Circe said we're about done. Chat, does everyone
No.
understand what's going on? Are we all solid? Everyone's groovy, baby. All right.
All right.
Sounds
cool.
good. So we're going to go ahead and raid out into another stream. Why don't we raid Critical Role? You know, they could use a couple more viewers.
Yeah,
They're pretty small, independent.
Yeah.
TTR.
They're only at 166,000 viewers right now for their Campaign 3 Episode 1.
Oh, giveaway?
Oh, fuck!
Oh, you have to finish
The
the giveaway.
Giveaway.
Yeah.
Giveaway.
Um,
Everyone say it.
So, if anyone has any more... If anyone's here that has not entered the giveaway yet, do exclamation point giveaway. You have a very good chance of winning because there's only 6 people that have actually done exclamation point giveaway. And I think 3 of them are in chat with me. Did you, Father of Cats is not in here. Do you want to do that real quick? Oh, you just bought one.
Bought
Never mind.
one.
I bought a
He
shirt,
bought,
yeah.
he bought
Hey!
Circe,
Oh,
so he
what's
doesn't
going
need
on?
one.
He bought Circe. He can get as many shirts as he wants.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and close the entries for that right now. And we are going to pick a winner. Oh, Ginger!
Ginger!
Hey!
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Now
Hell yeah.
you have a shirt to rock. So you are going to, I'm going to send you a link.
I got it through chat.
Oh, it already drops in there. Yeah, so you have access to that, so you can put in your address and everything. All the shipping and everything is paid for already. So you get one of these dope Source of Victory t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes before
So Moses, you're going to be the only one
4th.
without one.
Was that peer pressure or something? I don't.
Yeah, a little
No,
bit.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that
I'm just saying.
Hunter bought Circe. Ginger has a shirt. I got one already. How do I go
Because you
about
have to do
buying a
another
Circe?
giveaway.
It's already been bought. Yeah.
There can only be one.
A whole
Yeah,
Circe.
Hunter already bought the one and only Circe. So, and if you want those sweet Circe emotes, you gotta sub to me because I have the Circe emote. And my winner has redeemed their prize. Good job. Now I can close that shit out.
Yeah, I did. Hopefully, it should he be here by the 2nd, apparently. So I should have it for,
Well, if it comes
The
in by
first session?
by the 4th, yeah, we'll see. Global shipping. Right. So yeah, we are gonna head out. We will raid into someone else doing tabletop games right now. I surprisingly don't see any other channels on that are usually on. Maybe everyone is watching in that 166,000 people over on Critical Role. So let's. Why don't we raid into some Blades in the Dark?
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. So, so then I will, I am only rented, never bought. I don't know. I mean, according to the stream, it definitely said the Hunter bought Circe.
I respect Circe's wishes.
There's video
Yeah.
evidence.
Let me see if I got some credits to roll. I put some credits on here. We had some people do some things. And then we will roll out. So thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget, Hunter and I will be here on Saturday morning. I think we might bump it to like 8 o'clock my time to give us a little bit of more like of a pre-stream meeting. We'll talk about that. So between 7:30 and 8 on Saturday to do our podcast. That will eventually actually be a podcast. the weekly scroll where we will be discussing the mech combat portion of the Lancer RPG on Saturday, as well as, just like always, the amount of money we waste on Kickstarter. Not waste, spend. Unwisely.
Give away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason did do this overlay. I did the starting BRB and ending screens, but Jason did this overlay. It is fantastic. It is beautiful. He did such an amazing job at this, and it uses this piece down. This piece down below me is actually art from the book, which is actually on the cover of the box set, and he basically used that as a inspiration to build out the entire rest of it. So it is a wonderful overlay. Jason does a ton of amazing work for our stream, as does Jess. But yeah, he created this overlay. It looks wonderful. Yeah. So we're gonna raid out. Hang out with us for just a second so I can run those sweet credits, and then we will raid into, I believe it's Perception Studio, where they are doing some Blades in the Dark. So thank you so much for being here. Weekly Scroll on Saturday. We'll be doing Dark Kingdoms next Wednesday, and 10 Candles next Thursday for our Halloween adventure run by Jason. So
cool.
Hope to see you all there. We will see you later. Bye, everybody. Bye.